My dog has a cold. She keeps sneezing. I think she has COVID.
Fucking A, man. I got a rash.
I'm making my dog wear a mask now.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, your bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original G1 series. So this is your episode 212 of the APDC, and we're going to be covering number 96 of the Transformers series, The Rebirth, Part 1, which aired November 9th, 1987, the day after my wife's birthday. I don't know why you made
She was 3.
that noise.
That's already weird.
She would have been 9. No, still no better.
Nope.
This is your host, Aaron.
My
Who are you
girlfriend
guys?
wasn't born yet.
Come on.
She was born in 88.
Are we going to talk about how old everybody was now at a certain date?
Yep.
Haven't even got to the end.
I was 10. I just turned 10.
What year was that again?
87.
You'd probably be about the
My
same.
dad was 37.
Hey, in a row?
Let's keep moving on.
Now we're going
This is
good.
a-
This is a
this
good
is
one.
sour.
Did you
Nine
know?
in 1992 for the record.
You're not on the show yet. Did you know that 212 is the boiling point of water in Fahrenheit degrees at sea level?
I don't think you guys need to introduce yourselves. But hey, we have an extra special guest today. The listener may remember them from such episodes as number 168, Cosmic Rust, Cheese Magic, where we discovered his partner calls Astrotrain Astroplane, and I think he thinks I'm a drug addict, as well as our 173, 4 and 5 Bay 2000 Arc Super Specials, and I'm pretty sure he's been on other episodes. I feel like we've collaboed several times. Welcome to the program, Mikel Motorcycle, Mike by the Slice, Michael with a K, Andrews.
Huzzah!
Hey guys. Yeah, excited to be here for Aaron's intervention. Are we just jumping right in, getting it started? or-
That's what this is.
Yeah. Lock the door, bring in some friends.
Well, unlike people who have gluten or dairy issues, I just shoot up right in front of him. I don't care if he is trying to get off the horse.
Part of it.
It's on me to resist the urges inside of me.
I've never tried
Love
heroin.
here at APDC.
Yeah, what do you guys think I'm addicted to?
Love.
That pussy.
Is that why there's no
Attention.
ladies at this intervention?
That's right.
Yeah, you got
'cause-
David Duchovny thing going, right?
Yeah,
kind of
It's
sexaholic.
definitely a real condition he has.
Without the access or talent with acquiring that David Duchovny likely has. Is he still around? What's that guy up
He's
to?
still alive.
There's nothing, why he's bashing on David Duchovny?
Doing stuff.
No, nobody's bashing.
I'm going to get us started on a tangent right away. I love Evolution. The movie
I do too.
Evolution with David Duchovny.
Yeah,
Underrated, in my opinion.
I feel like I'm making this up, but it might have been initially supposed to be a Ghostbusters script.
Huh?
I think you're onto something because it was. The Ghostbusters director directed it.
Ivan
Reitman?
Ivan Reitman. Yeah.
I might be completely imagining that, but I feel like I learned that. I do love that movie. I saw that in theaters.
Is Slimer in it?
There is a lot of slime.
It is in the Ghostbusters universe, perhaps. Like
I feel like it's a spiritual successor.
I would agree with that.
is the Burbs in the Gremlins universe?
Why?
It feels like it is.
It kind of.
They're both
Joe Dante?
Joe Dante movies.
That's a good man. That's a movie I haven't seen in a while.
Don't they
It's
refer to the
so
Dante-verse?
underrated.
I don't know who does. I've never heard
Ooh.
that.
You know, my favorite Joe Dante movie is. I
Tell
think
us.
I probably mentioned it last time you were here, or I was here. It's The Explorers. With the
I
young
love that
Ethan Hawke.
movie.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, very good.
I think we covered it on the show at one point for the real world.
I
This-
hope so.
Michael, what the hell is new? What are you writing nowadays?
Oh, you know, I took the summer off from writing. I just want to enjoy the last summer of my 30s. party as hard as I can, and not have to worry about writing.
No consequences.
Yeah, no consequences. Nothing wrong with that. So no, I've just kind of been like enjoying life. I've been doing a little side podcasting, if you will.
Well, I'll bring it up. Wait,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No,
But that's it. That's where my creative outlet is
Nice.
these days. But after my birthday, as the winter months hit here in cold Minnesota, I'm going to get back to writing.
All right. Well, we look forward to it. I've buried the lead. What is this sizzling new show that has the Gen Z talking? For the listener.
That's so good. Man, do you write this stuff? Did you?
I'm sure it was ChatGPT.
This is good stuff. Yeah, so as alluded to, I've been doing a podcast with Mike Seibert. Upwards of 3 of you are listening. Not in this call, but several people. No, we're having a great show. It's called Two Mikes, Too Furious. That was one we were going to call it working title, and then we just called it Two Mikes, Too Furious. But yeah, we're discussing Transformers animated. I don't know if
What's
have you guys
that?
dabbled. Have you guys dabbled in that at all? Do you know what that cartoon is?
I've seen the
we're
whole
gonna-
first season.
We're going to
maybe.
get to that probably in like 15 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. If you keep along.
Yeah.
No, we're hoping to have you guys on for an episode, and I think I have a pretty good episode pick. So I'd love to do
nice.
some crossover action.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's a animated series from 2007. Kind of came out in tandem with the live action movie, but it's very different than the live action movie. It's sort of almost like Looney Tunesy. Well, it's right in the name, right? Animated. It's supposed to be like a really stylized design, a little more funny, a little more kiddie. But it ends up getting like really deep, and it has a ton of references to G1, specifically the '86 movie. So Seibert's really loving that. But yeah, he's never seen it before, and I've seen it a billion times. So our whole shtick is he doesn't watch it till like right before we record, and kind of has no notions about what's upcoming. And then I sort of sit there and sort of snark in the background about how he doesn't know what happens in season 3, episode 6. But.
As a listener, I'm one of your 3. I do love the dynamic between you and Mike. I feel like you are really, really good at picking up on those just like really subtle nods to G1 that I didn't pick up on, and Mike a lot of times doesn't pick up on. And there's just there's some that are really on the nose, like the Dinobots and the design of the characters, but there's all these like just really under the surface things that I just never, whenever I did my little watch through of it, I'd never picked up on, but you nail them every time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, part of that is because one of the gimmicks in the show is Seibert does like a G1 score at the end, and he kind of rates it based on how close it was to a G1 or how many Easter eggs there were. And so my goal is to try to get that score up by reminding him of all the G1-ness of it all. So I try to catch every little thing. In fact, we just did an episode that was like, it was a lot like Cosmic Rust. It was Space Barnacles, but it definitely hit the same notes as it. So it was really cool.
When those characters on that show are running around, do they ever make this? Does this ever happen?
Yeah, actually, every episode. That's the transformation. It kind of goes into like an anime style thing, and then they play that, and then they chase each other around to the Benny Hill song. It's a lot of fun.
Like a lot of this shit.
Yeah, a lot of Hanna-Barbera, Fred Flintstone pedaling his car sounds. Yeah.
All right, I think we got it. The look on his face showed no signs of stopping.
Was the last episode you recorded Cosmic Rust? Because I feel like you guys haven't got a lot of practice in between.
I know it's a little rough today. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey man,
yeah, it's because of our Joe break we've had. That's probably what's throwing us
that's
off.
it.
Oh,
That's
you
right.
switched to Joe.
I don't.
Nice.
I don't feel we've slipped a bit. What if we've slipped? It's been whoop, 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 whoop.
So you have what, 12, 13 episodes right now?
Yeah, yep. I think that's about right. We're about to wrap up first season, and the whole season I think is depending on 13 or 14. We have like episode legislation because the first season started with like a movie, and is it the first 3 episodes or is it a movie? But we won't get into that here.
We have some.
But yeah, we're about to wrap up season 1 and take a little breather.
Nice. We do have a little bit of at least some crossover. There's people on the Discord that listen to your show and enjoy it. So some of our patrons
awesome.
listen to it.
Well, good.
You'd know
thank
that,
you guys
and you
out
could
there.
engage if you ever would, get on there. You do have a
You know what? I
permanent
just
invite.
hate Discord. It's nothing against you guys, but Discord gives me anxiety when I get in there. I just don't like it.
I'm used to it now. I'm finally savvy.
Our Discord's really nice. There's a lot of people talk on it, and they're really pleasant.
They're just sweeties.
They are.
Yeah.
Except for when
Our fans are the best
I
fans.
post, is this music, and nobody ever reacts to it.
Well, at least they're not calling you an idiot or anything. They're just saying, they're just quiet.
Silently.
I think everything I post on there gets no response. That's fine.
That's just our least popular board.
Yeah, it's
We
fine.
just need to face it. Transformers fans hate music, it turns out. Caleb,
Yeah.
do you have a little something that
You want to do that now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me
Let's
find
do
it.
it.
Yep. Okay.
While you do that,
It's me.
Mike, sorry, that was again another abrupt transition. Where can people hear this show? This Two Mikes Too Furious.
Oh yeah, well we're on pretty much, Cybert kind of handles the production side of it, but we're on pretty much every streaming service. We're on YouTube, Apple. Leave us a review. Cybert would want me to say, but yeah, anywhere you get your podcast, we are.
Stitcher.
Stitcher, is that a thing?
No, it's dead.
Mike, do you mind if we shout out our patrons real quick?
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, please.
All right.
What's your pass?
I'm glad you didn't say no.
Yeah, actually, can we skip that? I'm just kidding. Please go.
Thank you to Alpha Magnus, Debbie, Jeremy, Skeeter, Mr. Sadler, Mike Seibert of Mike Seibert Radio, Bono, Michael Trimblett, Justin R., Jonathan, Robinus Prime, Classic Daniel, Safubi Samurai, Chandler, J Soups, Maddie V, Nick the Toy Mad Dad, Ken Bockelman, Big Kid, DFB Greg Murray, Captain Alexis Corey, James and Julia, Michael Ordway, Tim Dubs, Jason from Cracktastic Plastic, Thomas, Justin B, Triclops, Alex, Simon, New Daniel, Seven the Chronicler, Argonus Prime, The Unknown Patron, Brian Jones, Rick, a.k.a. Autobot 1000, and Mark, a.k.a. Zarman. And we still have one more out there, and if you're listening, get back to us.
Give us the deets.
At your convenience. Also, I should shout out Safubi Samurai. I did an episode of a podcast that he has kicked off called Gen X Lounge, where we talked about Transformers the movie. So seek out Gen X Lounge if you like toy reviews. He also has a toy review channel on YouTube called the Safubi Sit Down.
Cool.
Caleb, I believe you have a fun little
game?
something going on over there.
I do. This is on topic with our headmaster stuff.
Headmasters. I have no idea what that is, but
Well, it's relevant to the topic of the quiz,
okay.
and so it inspired me to do a quiz about decapitations.
Oh,
I love it.
So
Actually, right as we're recording this, our most recent episode of Two Mikes Too Furious was about the Headmaster episode of Transformers Animated. So we've been making decapitation jokes. I'm very
Nice.
excited. This is right in my wheelhouse right now.
So this is a short one. This is a relatively short one for me. It's 3 questions, and so I will jump right into it. You guys need to keep your own score.
Okay.
High score wins the prize, which is a gluten-free funnel cake from the State Fair.
No one will get that since it's not in the show proper.
That's okay. It's still funny to us, and that's all that matters. Question 1. When discussing decapitations, one cannot help but mention the nation of France and their beloved guillotine. Having only one method of civil execution for all, regardless of class, was also seen as an expression of equality among citizens. The guillotine was then the only civil legal execution method in France until abolition of the death penalty. Apart from certain crimes against the security of the state or for the death sentences passed by military courts, which entailed execution by firing squad.
That's what I would choose. It's 100% effective.
The most well-known period of France public executions using the guillotine, the Reign of Terror, including beheadings of former King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette, who were executed at the guillotine in 1793. Most of the time, executions in Paris were carried out at the Place de la Révolution. Sorry, my French is terrible. What's that, Aaron? Place de la Révolution.
Revolution Place.
Yeah, I don't need to translate it. How would I pronounce it?
You said it fine.
Revolution.
Place de la Révolution.
Place de la Révolution.
Yeah. The machine was moved several times to the Place de la Nation and the Place de la Bastille, but returned particularly for the execution of the king. During the Reign of Terror, from June 1793 to July 1794, approximately how many people were guillotined? Was it A, 1,700, B, 17,000, C, 170,000? We'll start with Michael, A, B, or C.
Man, that's a toughie.
1,700, 17,000, 170,000.
I'm going to say B, 17,000.
Ryan?
I'll just go C.
He's going with
Blood.
170,000.
You're going back in time to go C? That's incredible.
I'm going to go C and count them one by one. Aaron?
I'm going to go 17,000, but you know what? No. I'm going to go 1,700.
Okay, the correct answer is B, 17,000. That would be, and I did the math, that's like an average of like 46 people a day.
Damn.
So they were beheading people on this thing like twice, like on the half hour. No, that's on a 24-hour cycle too. Fuck, they were beheading people.
That had to smell.
Yeah, lots of heads
That was
rolling.
someone's full-time job, probably. They had to create.
I love to see it. Get the heads off.
I'm assuming most of those people were connected to the monarchy in some way.
Yes and no. The Reign of Terror, man, was like a situation where basically it was a excuse for anybody that had a beef with somebody to say they're supporting the royalist tendencies, or I don't like their ideas, and they were just fucking chopping heads. It was scary. It was a Reign of Terror. For a time, executions by guillotine were a popular form of... It was also entertaining.
Yep.
Was a popular form of entertainment that attracted great crowds of spectators, with vendors selling programs listing the names of the condemned. But more than being popular entertainment alone during the Terror, the guillotine symbolized revolutionary ideals. Equality in death, equivalent to equality before the law. Open and demonstrable revolutionary justice, and the destruction of privilege under the ancient regime, which used separate forms of execution for nobility and commoners. The Parisian sans-culottes, then the popular public face of lower-class patriotic radicalism, thus considered the guillotine a positive force for revolutionary progress. I would argue it got a little carried away.
It got a lot carried away.
Question 2. Remaining in France, let's discuss the last person to be lawfully executed by beheading in the Western world. Hamida Jandoubi was a Tunisian convicted murderer sentenced to death in France. He moved to Marseille, and 6 years later, he kidnapped, tortured, and murdered 22-year-old Elisabeth Bosquet. He was sentenced to death, executed by guillotine, since that was the only method of execution. Right. Yeah. He was the last person to be executed in Western Europe, and also the last person to be lawfully executed by beheading anywhere in the Western world. Although he was not the last person sentenced to death in France. Marcel Chevalier served as the chief executioner, who was trained by his...
That is a very French name.
Yeah. He was trained by his uncle, the former chief executioner. There was this long line of chief executioners that would run the guillotine. So what year did that happen? Was it A, 1907, B, 1947, or C, 1977? Michael.
Wow. These questions are like an entire Wikipedia page, and then at the end you go, and what's your social security number?
Yep. That's typically my style in this whole deal.
It's good. I never know where it's going. I'm going to say A, 1907.
Ryan.
B, 1947? Is that what you said?
Aaron.
I'll just make it interesting and go 77.
The correct answer is C, 1977.
No way.
That's interesting, since that's after the brief period where the United States banned the death penalty.
Yeah, France was the last...
That hot minute.
France was
for like 2 years.
France was the last country to hang on to executions, and they did it all by guillotine. And so, 1977. They didn't abolish it till 1982. But
Wow.
that guy there was no executions between that time and 82.
I do know that after they disbanded this act, they used all the guillotines for chopping baguettes. That is 100% true.
Well, that's
Sentence that bread to death.
to being.
And
tasty.
Caleb, how many baguettes did they slice per day? Was it A, 5?
Off with his heel.
Ah!
I also would have accepted off with his bread.
Have we ever seen like any?
Yeah.
It's a little
No,
on the
it's
nose,
all
a
right.
little derivative.
Have we ever? Are there any like tabletop guillotines that have been used for like chopping up certain foodstuffs or anything? Probably.
There must be.
Yeah.
It feels like an insurance risk for a restaurant.
I would say yes.
Do it yourself.
It's kind of like a cigar cutter. What are those
Yep.
things for chopping the ends of cigars? That's kind of like a guillotine, isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah.
It very much is.
They had to cut that guy's finger off in Darkman.
Oh God. Question 3. Enough about France. Let's go to the UK where folks are taking things into their own hands.
Oh,
In 2008, Welsh gym owner Gerard Mellon was angry at his estranged wife over the pending financial settlement. To get back at her, he ran up huge debts, canceled his life insurance, tied one end of a rope to a tree, climbed into his car, and wrapped the other end around his neck.
I remember this
then
story.
jammed the accelerator pedal down on the car, driving into a busy main road, forcing other drivers to watch him decapitate himself. Police found his headless body still in the driver's seat and his head on the back seat.
that is going with style and fucking just brutal, like spite.
The planning
Yes.
on that is
Yeah.
just amazing.
Wow.
So, what kind of car was it? Was it
Okay.
was it an A, Noble M600, a B, Aston Martin D87, or a C, a Jaguar F-Type? Michael.
Wow. What was A again?
It's called a Noble M600.
I'm going to say that one.
Okay, Ryan.
I went with A as well.
Aaron.
I'll go with the Jaguar.
You're all wrong. It's an Aston Martin D87. The Aston Martin D87 was produced by British luxury car manufacturer Aston Martin from September 94 to December 2004. It was designed as a Grand Tour and coupe and convertible body styles, such as the one driven by Mr. Mellon. The D87 was the most produced Aston Martin automobile up to that point in time, with more than 7,000 built before it was replaced by the D89 in 2004. That's all. That's all that question.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah. So, Michael, how'd you do?
1 point.
1 point. Ryan.
None.
Aaron.
1.
So you guys tied.
Do you have a bonus question?
I don't.
What number am I thinking of?
No, that's sorry, guys. It's I'll just say Michael wins since he's the
Okay.
guest on the show.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
We're all winners here because you get to listen
Yeah.
to the sound of my voice.
Despite
for the
of the way that guy went to the links to he went to fuck his wife, like fuck you, Becky. It just reminds me of this story, this really short story I read that was funny. That was like I couldn't stand my wife anymore, so I hired a hitman. I hope she never forgets. I'll never forget. Was something to the effect of like. The look on her face was priceless as he came into the restaurant to shoot me in the head.
Do you have a question after that, or
I just want to figure. I wonder if Mr. Mellon was like jamming to something as he,
Freebird.
yeah, or head over heels.
Or
was his name Mr. Mellon?
Yes,
Sweet,
but
sweet
not
irony.
yes, yes, not MELON, unfortunately. But it sounds. But yeah,
We'll go with it.
Yeah, Mr. Mellon.
Ryan,
Thank you for
I think
playing.
it's that time to make us a drink so delicious that it pops our own heads clean off.
all right, I'll do it. I accept your terms.
He's like, here, put these ropes around your heads.
And I too will
runs,
be
runs up the
making
stairs.
one.
Oh,
Michael
all right.
is also making.
He knows the ingredients. You shared them.
I invented them, bitch.
Oh, this is all your drink.
Yeah.
So to get that file to open, I had to message it to Aaron's phone, take Aaron's phone, message it back to myself, and then open it somehow. I don't know what the fuck.
That is very strange.
Do you guys still do that hanging around at the bar bit, or is that out the window?
That's controversial.
It's evolved, but I have. I'm glad you brought it up because Ryan loves it so much. Let's do this,
Just for me. Just bring it back for me.
Aaron. Let's go over here and once this advertisement's over, and let's go hang out and watch this public execution over here. There's some French patriotic music playing.
Oh.
Oh, here we are. There's the Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. You've been here to France before, haven't you, Aaron?
I've been here before, yes.
Ryan's been there. I've never been. Michael, you ever been to France?
Not until this moment.
Right.
No.
It's pretty cool.
First time.
It's beautiful.
Are we? I'm not really familiar with my surroundings here. Are we watching a beheading? Are we taking a time trip, or is this just France in general?
This is France. They're just having beheadings again. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
cool. Oh,
We've gone to the future. It is modern day, or it is future France when beheadings have returned.
Oh, okay. So we've now, yeah.
But they appreciate the classics.
I'm happy to say the guillotine is, it doesn't have any carbon emissions or anything like that.
Right. No, they take this seriously in the EU.
Very green type of...
Uses no electricity.
No. It's a very green type of device and pretty cool.
All right, well, we got a lineup of people over here that I guess are all getting decapitated.
Yeah.
Let's go interview one of them. Hello, sir. I see that you're in line for the decapitation. What is your crime?
I loved too much and too deeply.
It sounds like rape.
It was a crime of, well...
Sir?
Yes.
What is it? I'm moving on to the next person down the line. What is it you did?
I don't know I am here. I'm innocent.
Okay, he's innocent.
Hello. You,
Caleb's
sir.
taking over the
here,
interviewing,
give me the
okay.
microphone. Sir, you see you're in line for the decapitation. How'd you end up here?
Oh, me? I just want to commit suicide.
See. All right. Great.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. All right.
Je
Yeah.
m'appelle Jacques.
Okay. All right. Yeah, great. Let's go over here. Let's get some. They got some stuff over here. To eat.
There's a great little carnival. Are there funnel cakes?
Yeah, I see they've got French
some
folk.
rides.
Do you have any gluten-free, sir? You have any gluten-free?
All of our
GF
food is
baguette.
gluten-free.
Oh,
This is
great.
France.
Yeah.
Have a rice baguette.
Oh, thank you. Yummy. Yeah, yummy. Yum. Yeah.
Would you like some camembert?
I think I'd rather get in line with the guillotine than eat this shit. Anyway.
All right, that was kind of a bust. There's carnival rides all over the place. Is there any that you'd like to? There's dropping people from the top of the Eiffel Tower with a bungee.
Yeah. I wonder if the people that are in line for this guillotine think it's a ride.
Oh, what a twist.
Yeah.
Oh, that might explain the sign that's above it with the goofy carnival letters.
Yeah. Let's buy a shirt.
The head chopper.
They got shirts.
There's an ironic sign that says, you must be this tall to ride. It's like right here, like chest level on everybody.
I'm loving it. So this is a future French carnival
Right.
where they do executions.
Don't ask how we got here.
Took a time machine.
Clearly.
Yes. How do they say time machine in France?
Le temps machine.
Nice.
La machine de temps.
Nice.
Je ne sais pas.
Yeah, this is.
Ryan, you're missing out on this.
We can communicate
nothing.
to Ryan in the past. That's part of our technology.
Yeah, of course.
That we have. I feel like this is one of the better trips we've taken, Caleb.
I'm enjoying it
Despite,
very much. Yes.
And Michael, of course, joining us live in person in France.
I'm glad he could come along for this.
2072.
Yes.
It's 2072. I was just going to say it's 2072. I'm holding up a newspaper here with the date on it.
Yeah.
2072.
Yeah. We just look, Michael, that guy in line over there looks real familiar. It looks like you, except much, much older.
Oh my. This is troubling. No man is supposed to know their own fate. I must turn away.
I would try to help him, but I understand we don't want to mess with the future.
Yeah.
I won't look at the situation, but can you just tell me, does my neck look big enough to fit in the guillotine, or is it going to be like I'm not slim enough to get into the machine?
It's a very big neck. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's a huge neck.
God,
Yeah.
I knew it. My father had a big neck. He had a big neck. I should have seen this coming.
Yeah.
But that's, that is could be a benefit. Maybe they'll have to
Dude.
commute your sentence.
Look at the executioner. I
Yeah?
just recognized him.
Uh-oh. Who is he? I don't recognize him.
Hey, who are you? Hi, I'm Mike Seibert, and I'm the executioner.
Everybody's living a really long time.
God.
It's 2072. They must have discovered some kind of magic pill. Hi, Mike. Remember us?
Hi.
Remember us?
Come over here.
Podcasting. You're about to kill your partner.
Yeah, now it's one Mike. I'm Mike Seibert.
I wonder, he
Please.
might be responsible. Hopefully, future Michael hasn't been set up.
All right, let's walk away from the town square here. Ooh, that was.
I am here for farting on the president.
Poor old Ryan.
I'm glad we materialized
Ryan.
back into 2023.
Yeah, we're
Have
back.
you guys
Woo.
ever read about that or
fucked
seen
up.
the video of that guy who was one of the people who was trying to invent the parachute, and he filmed
Yes.
him jumping off of the Eiffel Tower?
Yes, I've seen that. I saw that
And
last.
then he
week.
died.
I saw that last
No.
week. Oddly enough.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But
So,
All right.
what do we got here, Ryan?
Oh,
Well,
and we have a matching green drink across the screen.
Michael
from
made
us.
it as well. That's awesome.
This one comes from our good fellow guest host for this episode, Mr. Andrews. Do you want to tell us about this drink? Because he is the creator.
yeah, I actually invented this drink when I was working as a server bartender at the same resort that was the basis for Coming of Mage, actually, my novel. If you want to sound a little more like a douchebag.
Oh, good.
But I invented this drink actually partially because one of my first days on the job, we had like a couple getting married at our resort. They wanted to come in and they wanted a signature cocktail for their wedding, and they wanted it to be blue. So they're like, just let's try some things. Just whip up a few cocktails on the fly. And I was so excited. I was just a lowly server, had never bartended before, and now I was getting to invent a cocktail. So this was just one of the concoctions. I really liked it because I'm a big fan of vanilla vodka, which is one of the chief ingredients. And it stuck. We put it on the menu at the restaurant. It was a big hit for the summer. It was a hot, well, it was the cold jam of the summer, I guess you could say.
You get any residuals on the sales of this?
Yeah.
creation?
Every couple weeks I get a check for like 35 cents
Nice.
for inventing it.
You need a better union.
Yeah. And I called it the Lake Effect because the resort was on the shores of Lake Superior, and Lake Effect was a big
Talking
climactical
point
event
around your wedding.
Yeah.
Vanilla vodka. Did you say what else is in it?
Oh, no, I didn't. Well, actually, I'm curious because I kind of gave Ryan like a loose outline of how to make it. And so we're sort of having a dueling recipe off here, I think.
He
So
gave
I
me the
made mine.
ingredients, and I came up with the measurements and method for myself.
Let's hear it, Ryan.
The Lake Effect. I was worried because vanilla vodka I do not care for, and I was worried this drink would be overly sweet. But I used 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of vanilla vodka, a half an ounce or 15 mils of blue curacao, 1 ounce, 30 mils of fresh squeezed orange juice, 1 ounce of pineapple juice, and then his instruction was something fizzy, and I just used regular old club soda. So I combined the first 4 ingredients, shook it with ice, then strained it into a Collins glass over fresh ice and filled with club soda. And I garnished it with an orange slice and an umbrella.
Beautiful. I'm impressed.
What's
Yeah.
what's your?
I don't see an umbrella on yours.
Well, I just grabbed an old soup can and a paper bag.
Nice.
No, I used Stoli vanilla and blue curacao. I got pineapple orange juice instead of 2 separate juices. You ever had pineapple orange juice mixed
Sure.
together? It's not as thick. It's not as viscous. So I kind of miss that actually in the proper drink. You know, I like a little pulp in there from the orange juice. But I think that's how I differed. And then my something fizzy was just a sparkling water, but it's mandarin flavored.
a little
Not
extra
orange,
citrus.
you chuds. It's mandarin.
It's surprising how many oranges it takes to get. Because our next drink has orange juice as the main ingredient. I think I had to juice 8 oranges because I needed 12 ounces of orange juice for the next drink, and I needed 3 ounces for this one.
So you instead of buying orange juice, you made your own.
This is
never
a high
purchase
class
juice.
operation.
I understand.
All
I'm
of
just
the
curious.
cocktails I
I'm-
make have fresh juice in them.
No shade. I was just curious. Interesting.
That's great.
Only the
Well, what do you
best.
guys think?
I
How's
haven't
it?
tried
I
it.
haven't tried it yet.
Cheers.
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 Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to you.
Ding, ding,
Cheers
ding,
to me.
ding.
Ooh, umbrellas. I'm impressed.
I can see why this is the hit of the summer.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
I
subtle.
said, I was worried it would be too sweet, but it's not. It's not at all.
This would go really
Yeah.
good with a gluten-free corn dog.
Yeah.
Back to that well.
Yeah, I keep. Hey, man.
I like this, and now I have a bunch of vanilla vodka I'll never drink.
Yeah, well, punishment fits the crime because I have a bunch of Drambuie I won't drink from the Cosmic Rusty Nail that we
I
made
thought you
for
said
the
you liked
last-
Rusty Nails.
I do. I just don't find the occasion to drink them as much. So I still have the Drambuie if we want to bring that back out.
All right, let's do it.
Right now.
Here we
Drambuie
go.
party.
Never mind about
Let's-
the review.
We should find a cocktail that uses Drambuie and vanilla vodka. Help Ryan out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty easy. I'll just take what I have here and pour it into this soup can.
The hint of vanilla is really nice. It's not overwhelming, but it does have sort of a silky, smoothing effect to the flavor.
I was kind of going for like a play on a dreamsicle, right? A little hint of citrus, and
I
then you
like
get the blue
that.
curacao in there, and then the vanilla kind of evens it out. I was onto something, fellas.
Apparently.
And if you'd like to buy us a drink, you can send us $5 to at APODcast on PayPal and tell me what you would like to drink, and I will make it on the show and at a future date. I can't make it a past date.
Or can you? I don't know. I
don't know.
to fill the void.
I don't know. If, yeah.
If you
There we
want a toast of podcast and your credit don't stink, then reach inside your wallet now and buy us a drink.
I was prepared for Caleb to say that he couldn't open the file.
I was waiting. I was kind of enjoying the long pause, the anticipation.
Just an episode note from coming off of our two-parter of our Joe episodes. In editing them, I kind of wanted to. I think I was able to crystallize maybe the reason why I think the TF fandom is so much more passionate and robust, at least online and wiki-wise. And it seemed to me that Joe was targeted at a little older audience than Transformers. And just a small sample we've seen recently, the Joe stories and interactions seemed a little more complicated and sophisticated. I could be completely wrong about all that, but maybe it being a show that was Transformers being a show that was geared more toward younger people, it made more of an impression. And then there's just been so many more iterations of Transformers. That was it that I got whenever I was going through the edit. I don't think I expressed it very well on the show.
I also just wonder if our bias towards Transformers, we're not really in Joe communities, so
It's true. It just
we
seems
don't
like when
have
you
the
try to
exposure.
find them, they are like it's just crickets.
yeah.
Did you guys? I found a website called Joe 3D, which I don't get the 3D part, but it's a pretty good repository of character and equipment releases by year. So I did find that, and it was pretty cool.
No, there is a lot of resources out there. I think the main thing, they just don't have a wiki like the Transformers do.
Yeah.
Or they do have a wiki, it's just not as nearly as robust.
It might as well have the icon for it might as well be a tumbleweed.
Shots fired at G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. That's pretty funny, actually.
Shots
Yeah, it's
fired
good
at the
stuff.
G.I. Joe community. Get it together and make your wiki work for us on the half chance
Hey.
that we might do it again.
Oh, yeah.
What's a clever name for a potential G.I. Joe wiki? I got
Well, it already exists.
Cobrapedia.
Cobrapedia. I like that.
Wicobra?
Encyclopedia Jotanica.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. All 100 volumes.
The Joelmanac.
You came to play.
Last episode recap. Mindbender creates a dream machine, but those dreams are nightmares. The Joes lack sleep, which makes Cobra weep with joy. The Joes' visions of king-sized cobras, corpsed-up comrades, killer cars, and Dad supply Serpentor with a slithering surgation. That's a boner, Caleb. Oh, no heroics, Joes. We're going to do this one by the book. So, let's now get into Season 4, The Rebirth, Part 1, written by David Wise. And let's close out the U.S. series ACOM style.
Why not go out with a whimper?
We kick things off with a relatively well-animated, in terms of shading and color gradient quality,
Very different.
piece of intro action. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, Ryan, are you?
No,
It looks good.
It is very different than
Okay.
the other intros.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without dissecting it too much, it has some parts mixed in from Season 3, like Blitzwing shooting us in the face, Blaster transforming in a swamp, and Rodimus, Cup, and Magnus running towards the camera. But other than that, it is also cut with some even more nicely animated battles, the new Headmasters, Target Masters, and other Nebulon bonded characters. And most of those, if not all of them, were animated originally for the commercials for those toys.
Yeah.
So
it is obvious because they're really good.
Yeah. It's weird to me that the toy commercial animation is so superior, and I get that maybe it's shorter clips so they can put more stank on it, but at the same time, it's also just a commercial, so why would you put stank
Because
on
that's
it?
the point of the show.
I guess they want to make it look as cool as possible.
The point of the
so
show
you
is
buy
to
the
sell
toy.
toys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I'm talking about the commercials, like just putting in all
Well,
the
I think it just basically is, it's maybe 20 seconds.
They could put that money to work.
Yeah, I guess.
This has got to be the largest gap between quality of the animation in the intro and quality in the episode.
Yeah.
The
Because
spectrum
it is
quite wide.
abominable. Nah, it doesn't work.
I like it. No,
Anyway,
I like it.
but like we have all the common crimes, like off-model characters with terrible colors.
I will give them a slight feather in their cap in that throughout season 3, I feel like they've gotten better compared to what it was in season 2. In episodes like
Steel City,
God, I love that
the
episode.
one with the race driving, it's so much better. It's less
Gumby, less
It's
Gumby.
more stylistic of Toei than it is Hanna-Barbera, but it's still not good.
I would disagree. I think it's Turtles all the way down.
All right,
The only one that
just
is
like
even a
your
little
opinion, man.
It's true. The only one that's even a little bit good is maybe the first 5 Faces of Darkness wasn't fucking awful. But it's all ACOM just looks like throw up. It looks so gross.
I mean, I think you guys are just spoiled from having watched so much and note the nuance. I was really surprised and elated at this episode.
You've been
But
watching.
you're right. I mean, I wouldn't know that.
You've been watching animated too much.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't like what you just did.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know anything about anything, Michael.
That's right.
We open up. It's been several months since the return of Optimus Prime. We are at Autobot City. The sun is bright. The birds are singing. There's no Decepticons rubbing stank on this picture-perfect park picnic of a day. Gold Boy and the Technobots are remarking on the fact that Decepticon sightings have been slim since Optimus Prime showed back up, and apparently he shot them all into space or something. But Scattershot sprinkles some showers on that sentiment. They will be back. In fact, according to this screen here in front of us, there's about 100 of them heading our way right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they say that there's 100 Decepticons, which I don't even think there are 100 Decepticons in the whole thing. There have always been more Autobots than Decepticons, and I'm sure there are not 100 Decepticon figures at this time.
You know what? This reminded me, the whole 100 blips thing reminded me of that scene in James Cameron's Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
When you have that scene, and I
love
mean
that scene.
that came out before this episode, right? I mean, maybe that had some influence on it,
It's possible.
potentially.
It's possible.
It's just a radar screen.
What, 100 blips?
I was thinking Spaceballs maybe was the inspiration.
Jam it.
Oh,
I'm just joking. Ryan, to both of your point, I think there is discourse on this exact point on TF Wiki, and I think at best, if every single active Decepticon were there, it would have been around 60.
It's not bad.
So they're not bad, but still not 100. You're fucking liars.
And we only see like 20,
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. We transition. Optimus Prime is curled up in a ball on the floor in some kind of mental anguish. Enter Ultra Magnus. What's up, Prime? Prime doesn't know exactly, but ever since he's unchained the wisdom of the Matrix, he keeps getting the feeling that something big is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Something unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I had a
That's
question
helpful.
for you guys. Did this leave off exactly where the last episode left off? Like, was the last shot we had of Prime kind of crouched down, or is this just kind of we're assuming he's been having these attacks?
This is months later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last scene in the last episode has them driving into the sunset.
Well, I thought it was an interesting choice to kind of start with Optimus, like in this sort of like huddled, sort of a position of weakness. I think that's really, I mean, that's the first shot we see of him is, not the heroic Optimus we're used to.
Maybe what we didn't see in that final episode is when after they cut, like he kind of rolled a little bit further, transformed back into his bot mode and just crouched.
That could be. I also had a question about the animation here. Is that weird thing on his back? Is that like
it's a coloring error?
Has that always been there, or is this a new thing?
It's a coloring error. It's white. It's supposed to be red.
Interesting.
It's ACOM. If you notice, when Ultra Magnus comes through, he has white spots on his head for some reason. There's if we called out every coloring error that ACOM made, the section on continuity and coloring errors on the TF Wiki on the ACOM episodes is easily like a third of the whole article.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were inexpensive.
Yeah, they must have been. I guess we might as well just go ahead and say that this 3-parter, the Rebirth, was meant to be the start of a whole season 4. And it was meant to be 5 episodes, sort of like 5 Faces of Darkness, to kick off a new season. But because of lack of interest and, I guess, fading sales, they cut it from 5 episodes to 3. Well, cut it from a whole season to 5 episodes and then down to 3, which is why it just seems like, and I'll get to this in a little bit, that you're introducing a new character every, it is really just introducing new characters this first episode.
I was
quite a bit
say,
of the second one
out,
as well.
Can you guys point out when it's a new character to me? I'm really curious, actually, who's like brand new versus who was there at the final battle.
Oh, we will.
Sure. Yes,
we
please.
will. Decepticon attack. There's a bleep on the screen in front of Prime. And Michael, it's your friend Hotshot.
Oh, yeah. My guy.
It's really Goldbug, but...
Doesn't look anything like Hotshot.
I don't care.
Isn't Hotshot the Bumblebee of the?
But he doesn't look like him or act like him.
No, not really.
Appreciate the shout out though.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge
hey,
I know you.
Are you a cobbler? Because you shoehorned that in.
I thought you were gonna ask me if I was a cop.
You got to tell me.
Let's keep it going, guys. One take, we're nailing it.
Decepticon attack. According to Optimus Prime, this means it's starting.
Yeah, I love that, where it's like, oh no, this vague thing that I kind of thought something bad at a nebulous future was going to occur is starting. Oh no.
Yeah, he goes back to that quite a bit in this episode. We see the Technobots and Throttle bots, which technically are not new, Michael. They were in the Return of Optimus Prime. But we...
if I can interject again.
Please.
In your last episode about season 3 ending, you guys made a crack about that being the iconic moment. But for me, this was a big thrill for me to see, especially Rollbar, just seeing the Throttle bots was like, yeah, that was kind of my cheer moment.
Is he the only one who gets named in this one? Because they do have a little more screen time, but there's only one of them named.
I don't know.
I feel like
they get a little more speaking time also.
Yeah. Also, I don't think Optimus Prime is the brilliant military strategist. Why did you guys come out of Autobot City to confront the Decepticons?
Yeah, that thing does turn into a battle station.
You don't understand a fortress at all.
It's a reverse Trojan horse, they call that.
Just making it easy on the Decepticons. Michael, why did you like the Throttle bots? What about them?
I think I had a lot of the Throttlebot toys. I mean, they were more in the price range for my parents to buy me as a kid. So I had no idea they weren't like as cool, but those were my Transformers in a lot of cases for a while there.
I had them as well. They were the kind of toy you could buy at a grocery store. You didn't have to find them in a fancy department store.
Aaron was blowing his nose with Throttlebots. He cared so little. They were nothing to him.
No, I collected them because I wanted them. Michael. I fucked
the rich.
It's a battle. They meet on the field in front of Autobot City. It looks like Galvatron has some new recruits, everybody. We've got Skull Cruncher, the crocodile with razor-sharp teeth. Mind Wipe, the mystical hypnotist.
I liked him.
I like Mind Wipe.
Ape Face, who dominates those around him with his fearsome, obnoxious presence. Snapdragon, powered by primal fury and a love for devastation. And Weird Wolf, a wolf who talks to himself.
Doesn't he turn into also a bird or something? Doesn't he split?
What makes him
No.
so? What makes him
What am I
weird?
thinking of? that
What
turns
makes him
into a-
weird?
He talks to himself.
Oh, okay.
Not in this episode. That's just the profile. But these new characters, along with a few new seekers, there's one named Misfire, there's one named Trigger Happy, and there's one other that I didn't take note of here, but we'll get to it later. They all attack and bust up the Autobots pretty good.
This battle is so fucking lame.
I disagree. I thought it was so cool.
They don't
Maybe
really.
I'm just again not jaded by the.
They just
having
stand
seen
there
the
and
whole thing.
shoot. Like that's it. That's all they do. The battle later, I can't remember actually if it's this one or no. It's next episode is better. But yeah, this just did not excite me.
Oh, I thought you're in the woods here. You're in the station. I think it's a very dynamic thing. And while we're on it, Aaron, if you could just scrub out my intro to the show that you gave me and replace it what you said about Ape Face, that he dominates others with his obnoxious personality. We can just use that. We can just use that.
Ryan, take a note.
Noted.
From the forest, new Autobot, Punch.
Yes.
Spies the Decepticon clones Pounce and Wingspan, sneaking into
That
the
must be who
Autobot
I was
base.
thinking of that turned into the wolf and the bird.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I had Counterpunch as a toy.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was a really neat idea.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Don't give away the idea yet.
I won't. I'm saving it
Let me give it
for
away.
4 seconds from now.
It's time for Punch to do a little spying of his own as a Decepticon. And now he is Decepticon Counterpunch. I feel like that's a gimmick.
Yep. I do love when we get here in a second, whenever he confronts. Well, I'll just wait. I'll wait till we get there.
Question:
Yeah.
Did the toy itself? Was he able to do some? Could you do some transforming to make him disguised?
I think you just turned him around.
Basically, he turned around.
and then flipped up maybe a face mask or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
And
cool.
that
It was still pretty. It was
No,
pretty
I
cool.
like that concept.
He turned into a car.
I think he had 2 rub stickers.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just one, and that revealed his true nature. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I wish they
The
would have.
newer remake of the toy has sort of like a little flipping panel that goes to like the other rub sign kind
Gotcha.
of thing.
Did they ever really? They didn't really like use the rub sign stuff in the cartoons, did they?
Not at all.
No, because the reason they had the rub sign was because of knockoffs. Like they created it entirely to like have genuine toys.
It's the official Transformers.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
But
didn't know
in the Headmasters series, the Japanese series that follows this show, they did kind of some of the characters that became battle beasts here in the U.S. had the rub sign, and they did use that like in the show, like it had a
Oh, really?
meaning to it. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Well, that
There you
settles it. We're doing Japan next.
That's how you knew they were ready to mate.
Yes.
You rub it. It gets all shiny.
I think you need to know that they're ready to mate before you rub it, Ryan.
No,
it's called
consent is bullshit. There's all these women are coming after
It's
these.
not called the consent sign; it's called a rub sign.
coming after all of our great men and
Wow,
Bringing them down.
big twist here.
We are a red pilled cast now.
Good
Just
lord.
so you all know, an incel red pill cast.
Epod red pill.
please don't isolate that footage of me saying that.
Punch Counterpunch is supposed to be a spy, and if he were a spy of any caliber, wouldn't he already know what the Decepticons are up to? It feels like he hasn't infiltrated very deep.
I just think that he's not in the meetings, and like
I feel like he's not invited
as the way they address him,
because he's not a good spy.
Well, I don't think it's that he's not a good spy. I think that maybe he is just not like. It seems like they don't include him in a lot. Like he comes in right here and asks about what Galvatron's plan is, and they're like, "You don't need to know."
That's not exactly how it goes, but I think you're onto something. The clones sneak into a room. There's a giant safe, and
I love
Counterpunch shows up. He says, "Hey guys, Galvatron told me to check on you." And then the 2 clones basically say, "Get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit."
Yeah.
So in addition to not being a very good spy and gathering intel, he also hasn't built relationships.
No, and also I love that he says, "Okay, jerks, I know my Autobot counterparts around here somewhere."
Yeah. So that means presumably part of this guy's cover story, working as He's an Autobot agent trying to infiltrate the Decepticons, but his cover story is that he has an Autobot counterpart.
Yeah, it's like it's like, you know, you have your like KGB and CIA counterpart.
And he's tipping them off, and he's tipping them off about it too.
Right.
Yeah, it's like basically what happened is the clones were like, he asked them something, the clones said no, and they're like, poof, busted my cover. Yikes, you guys are good.
I think the Decepticons just know that he's an undercover spy for the Autobots, and they just don't murder him because they keep him around because it's so pathetic at his job.
It's like an Arrested Development when they knew Tobias Funke's character was dressing like a woman to pretend to be their maid.
Right.
And they just went about with it because they needed a maid.
All right, so fine, you could deal with my Autobot counterpart. I've heard he's nearby. Real nearby.
I'll just go get him real quick.
The clones crack the vault and grab the key. It's a rounded, conical obsidian structure about the size of their heads, and they transform and depart. Despite being clones, one is a puma, one is an eagle. People, we have gimmick number 2, and I don't know how I forgot to mention this. Before that happened, Counterpunch turned back into Punch. He walked around the corner, turned back into his Autobot mode, walked in the room, and they just blasted him to shit.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
And then they grabbed the key and took off. The clones deliver the key, inciting the Decepticons to depart. The idiot Autobots think at first that they've won the battle, but Optimus Prime smells a diversion.
Yeah, we got the top of Grandma's banister. Now let's get it out of here.
Grandma must have a very dark and
ornate house.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's goth as shit.
I was going to say it's kind of deco.
Is your grandma Bam Margera?
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Graham Margera, damn it, Joe.
He's doing
Close it up, fellas. We got
He's
it.
not doing well.
He's doing really good. He's got it together. Almost as good as that guy the musician who just died.
What's Jimmy Buffett?
No. Well, it wasn't Smash Mouth. It was.
No, he said a musician.
Oh. Shots rightfully fired. It's Smash Mouth.
Oh,
was it Smash Mouth? Oh,
yes.
the guy who just died.
Yes.
Okay.
Who died?
The lead singer of Smash Mouth.
Did he? I'm not up on this. What the fuck?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to-
Coke
Actually
Zero.
very sad.
Anyway,
He was a huge alcoholic.
yeah, it's all sad.
I guess he won't be playing the Minnesota State Fair anytime soon.
No.
Back to the revenge.
Jesus Christ. Put it out celebrating.
You won't be seeing him. Am I right?
know nothing about him.
Yeah.
No judgment cast. He had problems, it sounds
He
like.
did. I would too if I had to sing that song over and over again.
Somebody once told me.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's too late.
We don't have the money to play that.
Yeah.
The Decepticons
No, actually,
regroup.
that's very sad, though. Just to put a cap
It
on it.
is,
Very
yes.
sad. I was a big Smash Mouth fan. Big All-Stars.
Now everybody knows that we're great people because we said it was sad.
Changed my life in no way whatsoever, and I saw it coming a mile away.
I just didn't keep up on his life. I don't know why.
To my detriment, could not get away from it. Like, I was not searching this out.
Yeah.
Let's all take a lesson from that song and get the show on, get paid.
And now an ad from BetterHelp. Are you a crippling alcoholic who had one song that I can't stand?
He had multiple songs.
To be fair, they had a number of top 10 hits, but does that mean you loved the other songs?
No.
All right. Well, Walking on the Sun.
You might as well be. Okay, let's move on. Sorry, I did that.
We're back at the Revenge. The Decepticons regroup, feeling themselves for this little victory. They head to Cybertron. Prime finds the vault room. Punch laying on the ground, wounded. Punch weakly points towards the empty vault.
That's where Prime is like, that thing that I didn't know was going to happen, but kind of thought something bad might happen is happening.
Yeah. Oh no, Prime says. It's happening, just as I sensed it would. I'm starting to feel like Prime is looking for evidence of his delusions in everything. Like, they serve pizza at that restaurant. Pizza.
Oh, no,
Pedophiles.
Oh, yeah.
Let's kill everyone at the pizza restaurant.
I thought we were going with the basement story. The pedophile ring was in the basement of the pizza place.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But then they covered it up whenever they went and investigated it. They built it all out, and so that's
Right.
why you didn't find any evidence of it.
Of course, Hillary was involved.
Pizzagate. There's a fucking 9-year-old reference.
Yeah. Optimus Prime commands Magnus round up all the Autobots and head to Cybertron. 9-year-old reference, but the right-wing conservative belief in the secret pedophile cabals is and how Democrats are behind it all is still very relevant, Ryan.
I'm sure there are plenty of Democrat pedophiles.
There are more Republican pedophiles, and I'll stake my entire
Let's make a
reputation
list.
on that.
All right, caller, you're on from Florida. Go ahead.
Pete Townsend.
Speaking of Cybertron, as we have done twice now, Blur and Hot Rod, with Daniel inside him, are racing through dark streets. The boys are back together. It's some kind of training exercise as Decepticon doppelgangers pop up from the ground, providing target practice to young Daniel. Daniel blasts these menacing mannequins, and he and Hot Rod cross a finish line. Great job, Danny boy.
Yeah, I did. Around the time that Ultra Magnus and Prime were talking, before Prime ran back into the building because he thought something was up, I was thinking, I wonder where if Hot Rod is just on vacation. Like, I'm like, where is he? And then I quickly found out he is kind of like on vacation. This doesn't seem to be doing anything. I do kind of like.
Oh, they're all sort of goofing.
Yeah, I do. Well, in just a second, they're like, hey, Hot Rod won because Daniel helped him. I kind of like this framing where they're getting us used to the idea that humans helping Autobots makes everybody better.
I feel like it's on the nose, but you got to do something like that.
I just think it's
Yeah.
I just thought it was
solid writing in
I
a
thought it was
short
done
time,
well.
right? At least they're
Yeah.
kind of creating a precedence for this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. There to celebrate Daniel's success are Spike, RC, and new guys, Brainstorm, Hardhead, Chrome Dome, Point Blank, and Sure Shot. Blur isn't so happy to lose the race, unfair advantage and all, but this little boondoggle serves to validate Brainstorm's hypothesis that a bonded Autobot human operator would enhance all of their functionality. The only problem is, where would the humans inhabit them when in robot form? And where would they take a shit?
Can't think of one spot.
Well, if they had the what were those toys? The original toys, like the Dinobots, had a little rider area in them. Those original.
I think it's the
Mako-
Diaclone toys.
Yeah, probably. But like a lot of those had like little rider areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know it was very confusing to me as a child.
Yeah, of course it was. And some of them even came with little guys. I think the Seekers maybe did.
Changed the course of a young Ryan Jet's life when he saw those toys. He didn't know what to do.
Get the shit out of here.
I was mad.
Oh, the
I was
lake
mad,
effect
and
is
it was
strong
women's
drink.
fault.
Oh, okay. That's right. We're going back to that well.
Yep.
Red Pill. Brainstorm. Just a point I'd like to bring up. Brainstorm says that the Transformers can download their memories and personalities into auxiliary memory circuits in their chest. Does this explain the face of the Najika?
Oh.
He doesn't say that until the very end of this episode, but yeah, I like that component. I think it's neat. I think it was a neat line.
You got to have something to.
It also on the
Make it all
TF
work.
Wiki says that maybe this is a reason why death is real dodgy in the Transformers universe. Like sometimes people die, sometimes they don't.
Some in the group like this idea. Some hate it. Late arrival / hippie peacenik freak Cerebros virtue signals his disgust at the idea of including humans in their war. But we already are, Cerebros. We already are.
Yeah, that I had a note about that. Cerebro says we Autobots are always fighting. Must we drag you humans into it? And
Where
then
have you been?
I'm like, I think also, if humans are not helping you guys fight, we're real good at war. Like, if we don't have an enemy, we'll make one, and it'll probably just be somebody
Be
else
you.
who's has a different religion or looks different.
Or resources.
Yep, gotta get that water.
Can I just say, I really love Cerebros, though.
I do too.
Big Cerebros fan. I mean, I kind of like the look of him, the design of him. I think it's really unique, very cool. But, I mean, outside of him being like a hippie peacenik kind of a guy, I mean, I really like that they gave, an Autobot or any bot at all, like this personality that's sort of like against fighting, against war, something other than like, yeah, let's go to kick Deceptibot, right? Like, here's an actual, like, well thought out, sort of mature character.
I think the only other one we've seen is First Aid, who is a medic, and so he doesn't kill. But
Beachcomber is kind of a piece.
Yeah, we are leading to something with Cerebro. I mean, it's going somewhere eventually.
We're like the Cerebros. Do you like that, guys?
Yep.
We're renaming the podcast.
I don't think. I mean, there's a little bit about it in the second episode, but I don't think we really get to him until like the third episode as to what he's gonna, how he comes into the picture.
In a nice comedic beat.
But it might give us the edge if the Decepticons did return.
That's not gonna happen.
Cop, highbrow. The Decepticons are heading your way.
How many of them, Prime?
All of them.
Of course, I have been wrong on 1 or 2 occasions.
Is that it?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Are we putting comedic in quotes?
I mostly thought the all of them part. He didn't need the follow up.
I do also love. They stole the key and they're probably headed for Cybertron. Should we call them? Nah, we'll do it en route when we're almost there.
Yeah.
That scene to me was very like C-3PO on Empire Strikes Back when they're closing the shuttle doors and he's rattling off the statistics about how Luke couldn't possibly be alive, and he's like, "Well, R2 has been known to make mistakes from time to time."
Before we move on, I just want the listener to know Caleb is taking a shit right now.
He sure is.
See,
We're
I didn't
looking
even know
at
he
him
was
do
gone.
it.
He slipped away.
He does. He kind of just
Stealthily.
slides out of frame.
Caleb, what did you think about this scene?
The key that the Decepticons stole is to the plasma energy chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And we needed a tasty egg MacGuffin to get this story going. Right, guys?
That's good. That is good.
The plasma energy chamber. Let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
It is a storage chamber, 12 levels below Generator C, and is the foundry in which all the original Autobots were forged millions of years ago. And since then, it has been every Autobot's sacred duty to guard it with their life. So if you didn't understand before, don't let the Decepticons open up that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it's all of their sacred duty, but none of them have ever heard of it.
I was kind of confused by that. I didn't know if he was saying all Autobots or saying all Autobot leaders, but it sounds like all Autobots.
Decepticons arrive, and we see our old friends, the Constructicons,
Yeah,
pour out of the shuttle.
They show up for a second.
As aerial bots arrive to halt Galvatron's progress. Galvatron unleashes new character Sick Shot, the One Robot Army.
It is a very long and obvious toy moment where he just shows off. Didn't you have Six Shot, Aaron?
I did.
It was it's pretty awesome. Like, it's a great idea.
Hey, I was hooked into all these gimmicks.
Yeah, I did. It worked, obviously.
Six Shot flips.
Aaron,
oh, go ahead.
Aaron, what was your favorite mode of Six Shot as a toy wise?
Probably
Did you
Wolf.
have like a one that you kept it in, sort of a?
I don't remember, but I like the Wolf mode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's like 3 battle station modes and a gun mode.
Well, let me get into that.
Oh.
He flips into all his modes to take out the Autobots. Ramming tank, flying wolf thing, armored carrier, starfighter, and with an assist from Cyclonus, jet-propelled laser pistol. That's 5 up, 5 down, bitches.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
Beautiful.
We don't see anybody combine in this episode.
Oh yeah.
None of the combiners do anything.
We see
we will see a
heads
combiner
combined
next
with
one.
bodies.
Yeah, we'll take that. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
You're wrong. Go to hell.
Good night, everybody.
Cut his mic.
Brainstorm, Spike, Cup, and RC spy Scourge sneaking into the roof of a building. So they take a shuttle.
This is so weird.
To every Autobot jumps in this shuttle and goes up to that hole. And
I guess the elevator was out.
And I guess that hole fits an entire ship. They're going down into the catacombs, 12 levels below Generator C. I guess would that be Generator O? How does this work? That's 12, right?
No, I think the generators...
D, E, F, G.
No. I think the generators are on the surface, like A, B, C, and it's below C.
Okay. I like where you're going with this. Scourge enters a vast room with all kinds of mechanical bullshit and servers.
It's my
and
mechanical bullshit
such.
machine.
It does remind me a little bit of a Transformer version of the warehouse
That's exactly
in
what I was
Raiders of the
thinking.
Lost Ark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In the center of the room is a domed structure, the plasma energy chamber. Scourge approaches a console. He slips that big black key right on in, opening the chamber, which the Autobots arrive just in time to see. Energy sparks up, envelops the room, overloading Scourge, causing him to pass out on the ground. Cerebros and Spike, they approach the console. Spike doesn't understand the markings, but luckily Cerebros got a B+ in his ancient Cybertronian class in private school. He IDs the right button, and boom, the key is released. But we need to get the hell out of here.
So Scourge slips this key in there to open it. No two-step authentication.
Security wasn't as good in 2006.
They really needed to get Octa. I mean, it doesn't even ask him to identify all the trains. That's it.
Okay,
that's
good.
some of
Good
my
work.
jokes about
Good work.
that.
You know, the plasma energy chamber, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it plays heavily into Beast Machines, which is the sequel series to Beast Wars. So I didn't actually realize that came from any source material. Beast Machines is one of my favorite things
Really?
in Transformers.
I feel like that's contentious.
Yeah, it's quite hated, but but yeah, it's cool to see it. Actually have some source material in G1. I didn't realize that till just now.
I'm glad we could help you out in
Yeah,
your
thank you.
love for that franchise.
I don't know if we'll cover Beast Machines.
But if we do, Mikel Andrews, you're invited.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. We might do it. We'll fight for it. Whoever can get to Beast Machines first of the two podcasts.
Oh my!
Uh-oh, competition. The
That's fine.
competition.
I think that's good.
The competition.
Ryan, you had said something that sparked something in me. What is the last thing you said that was about this episode?
The Octa joke? Two-step authentication?
Yeah, that's exactly it. What came in my head was, the funny thing is, normally those questions are you a robot? Mm-hmm. You got to flip it for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not a robot?
Be you human?
The negative is confusing me.
Tenacious D reference snuck in here. No, wait, is that what that was?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Just something that fired off in the back of my brain.
I'm just a human.
A human being.
We all poo out of the same small hole, Caleb.
Yeah, Me Without Hats, great movie.
How's your sphincter doing?
CB4.
It's fine.
All right,
Good.
Sphincter, I hardly know her.
moving it on.
Jesus God. Fuck.
The key is released, but there's still a lot of electricity flying about the room, and some beams reach the Autobot ship that contains Cup, Hot Rod, RC, actually all the rest of the Autobots. But the beams activate the ship, which causes it to launch back through the catacombs, through the roof, which is the crust of Cybertron, and into space. And that's when we go to commercial.
We're going to space.
Yeah, how do you guys like these new transitions with the new characters on there? I think they're pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like
They're
them.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
good stuff.
basically Scorponok and Highbrow? Is that? I think it's Highbrow.
Yeah, I think that's highbrow.
I had him as a toy as well.
Did you really?
Yeah. I like the headmasters were kind of cool because you put their heads in and then you open their chests and they have like their stats. When you put the head in, the stats show up.
Yeah.
A simple
Yeah, are we
bar
going to
chart.
talk about the toys at all? Is that kind of an end of the show thing? Because I'd really like to get your takes on that, if you have
I
any.
do have a little history of them, although I guess I didn't talk that much about some of the extra gimmicks, so make sure and bring that up again.
Yeah, we'll do.
Whatever you want to talk about, Michael, it's fine. Bring some knowledge. Yeah.
Pizza something.
We are back from commercial. The Autobot ship, it's overloaded. The wiring is fried. Brainstorm demands they fix it, as if they're not going to try.
Fix it!
They're traveling 1 million miles a second away from Cybertron, and I don't know if Brainstorm is being hyperbolic or not.
I
but
think
that's
he
more
has
than
to be.
5 times the speed of light.
Yes, it is. That was my point as well. I think he's just being, he's just excited. He's excitable.
Meanwhile, Galvatron and his crew, consisting of Cyclonus and future Target Masters Trigger Happy Misfire and Slug Slinger, which is coincidentally the name for my...
Your pussy?
Yeah. They are all gathered in the chamber around Scourge's unconscious body. Galvatron wants to kill Scourge for his failure, but Cyclonus is like, why don't we troubleshoot instead? He is the victim of power surge damage. Clonus injects Scourge with fresh energon, and he's revived. Galvatron commands all his cronies, track down the Autobots, and get that Dang Dob Diddle key back.
Yep, that's what he do.
We go back to the Autobot ship. The engines have burned out. Could they possibly use the retros to get this thing turned back? But oh fuck, it's a planet.
Yes, we continue the time-honored Autobot tradition of never landing a shuttle.
That's right. They prepare for crash landing, which mostly consists of panicking and terror.
Prepare for crash landing!
Oh, by thinking good thoughts?
That would help!
Harding, this is it! I just know it, I know it, I know it, I know it! We're all gonna die, we're all gonna die! This is it, this is the end, we're finished!
Was it the good thoughts thing?
No, it was the blur thing, but I think we could start it at...
I liked the good thoughts. That I had that.
Yeah, I
in
like the
notes.
good thoughts.
That was Hardhead, you heard, strangling Blur.
Yep.
In what could be potentially the last moments of all their lives. Hey, that's how I'd want to go out.
Strangling someone.
That really annoys the fuck out of me, sure.
I hope I'm not there.
The headmasters, we've learned, have no respect for heads and neck appendages. That's how they got their name. Actually.
They do seem a lot of them do seem real casual, and maybe I'm jumping ahead, about allowing biologics into their systems where they could potentially control them. Like, that seems terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be like if we just plugged ChatGPT into our brain and was like, have at it, brah.
Right.
Fuck ChatGPT. There's my...
Well, we wouldn't have any
Steve.
intros without it.
That's
Oh,
not true.
no,
Shut up.
you guys. I can't do this.
Shut up. It's not true. I dabbled. Once. I went on a date with ChatGPT.
It was only at camp.
It fucked me, but, it's over now.
You like that?
It was just dinner.
I'm going to make a song and rhyme wrong with song.
And wrong again. Daniel has another D for danger moment as RC just kind of snatches him.
Like a doll.
Cradles him. The ship crashes into an ocean of Aramanth. In fact, the whole planet seems vaguely purpular. The Autobots steer the ship to shore and evacuate just before the engine blows.
Good Lord.
These folks are Caruso'd. The team...
Oh, Robinson?
Yeah.
I thought you meant David.
Deep cut.
Yeah, good reference. Good reference.
The boys and girl walk the landscape seeking solutions for salvation, but they are being spied upon by local humanoids.
I do appreciate, and obviously he's I fucking hate the way that they make them walk in profile like that for a while. It looks like garbage. Anyway, I like the
Beatles album cover
It's
walk.
just so it's so horrible.
Abbey Road all
They
day
look
long.
like
Take the picture,
marionettes.
Take the iconic photo.
But I do appreciate the way Dick Gautier kind of makes Hot Rod's voice go up an octave as opposed to his Rodimus voice. He lightens it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm grasping at anything.
You're trying to make it work, but you can't.
Because you suck.
These green flesh boys must report back to the others. They mention that the robots they see don't look anything like what the Hive has sent after them in the past. The Hive. What is that?
If I can interject, this is great storytelling. I love the little mention of the Hive. It sort of reminds me what I like about Star Wars, where they just kind of hint at a bigger world without actually, feel like any other cartoon, they'd be like, this is just like the Hive, our natural born enemies that have been, fighting us for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a little bit. I mean, granted, it was cut down significantly, but they have a little bit of breathing room just in the fact that it's a three-parter, I think.
We go to the Revenge. Scourge and team are tracking down the Autobots by the particle trail they've left behind, and that's about all we have there.
Mm-hmm.
And we go back to the Autobots, who continue their Abbey Road walk across the landscape. They are trading barbs. Cup is telling war stories. They eventually encounter the locals, who capture them with laser rope pistols.
I also like this. We get this moment of actual Cup just tells a story, and Hot Rod's like, there were only 3 against 700 of you, and he's like, you ever seen one of those cocksuckers? We were outnumbered. I just like it. I like it's back to the movie dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they like his story very much.
Well,
but Hot Rod it was only the Dinobots that really loved his stories.
Hot Rod just doesn't appreciate experience. Right?
Where are the Dinobots, by the way?
We won't see several episodes back was the last appearance of them, sadly.
Was there any send off to them though, or is this just kind of they're busy doing something else? Oh, of course
they
not.
just disappear in the same way that all these characters just appear.
It might have been the Grimlock's new brain or the Torkillon episode that was their last appearance.
Oh, ever since Grimlock got that new brain, he doesn't want to hang out with everybody.
So
he committed suicide by cop.
The Autobots apprehended. Maybe they should have used the universal greeting, right, guys?
That would be in a perfect moment for it. This goes probably without saying, but the way the Nebulons are introduced in the Marvel books is way better than this. I had some of that with those books.
The Headmaster
I think
miniseries.
I can't remember if the first one was Power Master Prime. That might have been the first introduction of the Nebulons.
No, the Headmasters are around before that.
Okay.
Trust me.
Yeah, actually, I think that Prime toy you're talking about came from the Super God Master Force line.
Shut up. We're not going to do that. Stop bringing it up.
Ask me about
your
Super
Patreon.
Force.
Spike and Daniel protest the apprehended nature of their friends. They try to explain these things aren't associated with the Hive, whatever that is. These are Autobots. Are these Autobots? Is it a Hive trap? We're going to take these guys to the caves.
They have these Nebulons have some impressive frenulums.
What are frenulums?
Little dent in your lip. Like Rihanna's is very nice.
I see.
Back to Cybertron. There's still a pretty heavy war going on. It turns out Autobots have their own clones, Fastlane, who is a future car, and Cloudraker, who is a future space jet.
Yeah, we get a really fun introduction with another annoying verbal tick where they repeat each other.
Prime commands them, find the key, and the rest of the guys roll out, presumably into battle.
It's going to be hard for them to find that key. This is a fool's errand.
Right.
So did they just attach a time clock to Hot Rod there?
It's a bomb.
It's like a time clock to me.
It's a timed bomb.
They are we're back at the Mystery Planet.
You guys know what time clocks are, right? Michael, did you ever use a time clock? Yeah.
Are all clocks
Aren't you just saying a clock?
No, when you punch in and punch out
we
for
just call it a
work.
clock.
When you punch in and punch out for work.
No, I never
You
used
got to
one of
punch a
those.
time clock.
Yeah.
I didn't work in the 40s.
I used a time
Here we
clock.
see that
Me too.
Rodimus's one demand was, please just put my robo-colostomy bag back on. And
Yes.
kind guard obliges.
Hot Rod's just shitting all over the caves. Yeah. As we said, our olive-colored skin friends place bombs on each of the restrained Autobots. Doesn't he know who they are? Hot Rod pulls out that line.
Don't you know who my father is?
This is where we learn the name of the planet is Nebulon, and these creatures believe all machines are evil. As Spike and Daniel continue to make the Autobots' case, the Nebulons prepare their plunge detonator, and we go to commercial as their leader guy states, "Death to the Hive."
I do, once before I die, want to set off an explosion with one of those, plunger control boxes. That looks super fun.
Is that still everyday modern technology, or have those been?
I think
are
they
those
just
antiques
use
now?
electronic triggering now.
Bluetooth.
Which technically it is electronic triggering because you're creating a electrical charge by pushing the plunger down. But
I think you're right, because when I was living, this isn't a bit of an aside, but when I was living up north, they were blasting through a mountain to make the road, to extend the road. And you had to shut off your phones kind of like in a hospital when you were passing through, because it might trigger detonation.
oh man, I
there were
would be
big
on my
signs that said
phone so hard.
Ryan's like, this is my one wish before I die, actually.
Oh,
wanna make a call.
to see innocent humans exploded is my dying wish.
Isolate that.
Back from the break, Decepticons arrive on Nebulon, and apparently more people came along with Cyclonus than we saw originally. We see the new Seekers, and those weird animal guys are here too.
I guess they didn't want to, I know the reason is that a lot of their toys were discontinued, but we don't see any of the Seekers, none of the Coneheads. Skylynx isn't in here. Triptychon's not in here.
No Dinobots, I'm sorry.
No
Ryan.
Dinobots. a tear comes to eye.
No blaster, no sound wave.
Yeah.
It's all about the new people. And some core Season 3 people.
Except for Springer, who's also curiously missing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, it really is.
Somehow...
And none of these characters got written out in a clever way. They're just not here now.
I don't believe anybody's ever written out ever.
Yeah. No, nobody.
In any of the episodes.
They're not really written out or really kind of written in, per
Nope.
se. They come and
here.
go. Yeah, we need this toy sold.
Yeah.
Bring them
Even
in.
even
they do
Prime,
kinda-
who was written out, they just can't get rid of the guy.
Well, that's the one exception, yeah.
They do have I guess the only written in exception to that would have been the Technobots, because Grimlock made them.
True.
Yeah, or the Dinobots.
The Terracons
Yeah.
certainly weren't written in.
No, they were just there.
Somehow, the Nebulons understand that they may have been hasty in their judgment of the Autobots. They debate the merits of liberating the Autobots, but finally decide to do so. Autobots and Decepticons engage in the Nebulan cave. All the new guys get action, driving, shooting, tossing, and biting.
I'm so glad that they let the Autobots free to just get their asses completely handed to them.
Mm-hmm. In fact, in a successful attempt to save RC, Daniel ends up in the jaws of Snapdragon, shaken about like a chew toy before being tossed to the ground. The Autobots realize the magnetic bombs the Nebulons placed on them would be useful. They toss them, and boom.
Yep. And then they run away.
Scourge commands a retreat, but also, hey, grab some Autobots before
Yeah,
you
why
go.
not?
Don't leave this cave unless you've got an Autobot with you. So they kidnap Hot Rod, Cut, Blur, Crosshairs, Point Blank, and Sure Shot.
Who's the guy who just is like, this is fine?
He's
He's not even damaged, or
I
he's
think
just,
that's Crosshairs.
he's just standing there and he gets picked up by Ratbat.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
It's not Ratbat, it's
Oh, the Terracon
Bat
guy?
No, it's a headmaster.
Oh.
What the fuck is
Mind
his name?
Wipe?
Mind Wipe, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh. I guess Ratbat's not in this. is
Ratbat
he?
ain't
Never
here.
mind. He's not here. No, the tapes are here. Nobody's going.
Some of the new Autobots try to follow the Decepticons, but Spike, Daniel, Carly, and Cerebros. There's no Carly. I think I meant RC. Spike, Daniel, sexism. Woo! Spike, Daniel, RC, and Cerebros tend to Daniel. Daniel tends to himself. It was late at night when I was working on this.
I was high for some of my notes.
The danger has finally caught up to Daniel.
I love this. RC says, he saved my life, and he's my dearest friend in the whole world, which is fucking
Who
sad.
rescued who?
That's sad as shit, RC. You need to get on Bumble or something.
Jokes aside, though, this stuff kind of is touching to me. The RC Daniel stuff did kind of like tug a few heartstrings. I thought it was pretty well done.
I feel really sorry. I've felt sorry for Daniel since day one of what we've been doing. He just gets thrown into the mix.
Yeah.
Should not be there.
No.
I am jumping a little bit ahead, but since it just made me think of it, remember, Caleb, back on in the beginning of Season 2 when something similar happened to Daniel's father and how that went?
Oh, yes. Dad? Yeah, so...
this goes better for Daniel.
It does.
They've perfected Wheeljack's technology.
Yeah.
In the past 2 decades.
Still, I don't know. It goes better, relatively speaking, but
It's a little different.
Yep.
Daniel's brain is
when I see him
still active.
I get really uncomfortable when I see him handling him, like moving him around. Like you got to leave the
just move his neck around a whole bunch.
Like lay him, keep him laid down, man. Stop.
Maybe
moving
put him
around.
on a backboard.
Yes, they don't.
But yeah, for anybody who didn't get that, I was referring to Autobot X, which I think is the Season 2 premiere, where Spike gets mortally wounded and gets put into a ramshackle Autobot.
Dad?
Hey, what do you guys think's a better Transformers masturbation reference? Rub sign one out or Wheeljack off?
Ooh.
I think they both have their
They
time.
complement.
Those are
They
very
both
good.
have merit.
They complement each other. They help inform.
I think the rub sign, just because it's a little deeper cut and not as obvious.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for obliging me on with the show.
You're welcome.
You're not wearing pants.
Nope, never.
Brainstorm, Chrome-Tome, Hardhead, and Highbrow were trying to chase the Decepticons, but they're impeded by a dense
Some of you can
forest.
fly.
Nebulons arrive and try to warn them about the dangers of this forest, but the bots don't quite trust them. So the Autobots enter the forest, and as they do this, giant metal claws rise from the canopy and charge the Autobots, who retreat. And so they agree with the Nebulons. We just should regroup back at the caves.
I do love, and I'll get to this more, I'll expound upon this more later, but I love the design of the Hive machines. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, these metal munching arms. So cool.
They're not quite as wacky. What were those machines in that one episode?
The one with Blaster?
No. Actually, I'm thinking of the organics that the Quintessons created in the depths.
Oh,
of
those
Cybertron.
the
And some of them had metallic parts.
they were cyborgs. Yeah. I can't remember what they called them. I can't remember what they called them, but those designs were awesome.
Those were ludicrous. Back at the caves, Daniel's got it rough. He's going to live, but the internal damage has made it so that he will have to rely on life support machines unless they get something more portable. The rest of the gang gets back to the caves, and and this is where we get some Nebulore.
I like when Daniel. This is what I thought when Daniel woke up. And he was like,
"I liked that."
Did you?
Yeah.
He said, "Hi." He says,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hi, Dad. Hello, son. And I just imagine Daniel going, "Oh, Dad, I had the most wonderful dream that Mom hadn't left us forever,
And I could still walk.
Yeah.
because we never see Carly anymore."
It seems like it would be a really hard relationship to be in.
You got just long distance, two professionals.
I didn't realize we hadn't seen her in so long. Was it the Nightmares episode? The Hive. Let's talk about them for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They built the machines to maintain Nebulos's environment, but they've also enslaved all the people on the planet, and the people serve the machines, and the machines are controlled by the Hive.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit the time machine with the Eloi and the Luddites. A little bit.
Yep. Why'd they put him in that room? What's going on in there?
Because now they're working
This is where you'll
to do
fuck.
janitor work. You're not far off. What is this guy doing? He's jacking off the machines. But
Gotta make that steam?
It seems like they're putting
they just make them all janitors.
Yeah.
They're literally
Janitors and farmers.
toweling off consoles and mopping the floor inside this
very
computer
advanced,
building.
Yeah.
The Hive live deep underground, and there are 10 rulers and one supreme leader, Zarak.
Yeah.
The Hive are mentally proficient and telepathically control all of their machines, who act as their eyes, ears, and fists and penises.
Because supposedly these guys, the Hive, are, I guess they've let their bodies atrophy Wall-E style, but they don't really look atrophy.
No,
they look pretty muscular.
They look buff
to me.
as hell.
Yeah.
But they are in hover chairs.
I actually love the when the Nebulon's telling the story, and he says that he makes a point to be like, but their bodies are totally useless.
Totally
like he's just dissing them so hard. Completely worthless. Picture them doing something, they can't. Worthless.
Yeah.
And also very relatable. My body is also totally worthless. So
See how Daniel can't do anything now? They're like that.
They're like that.
only more worthless.
Only more worthless.
Love it. And Chip Chase rolls in, but they have courage.
Yeah. I think he'd roll in and be like, I'd like one of these too, please. And they just ignore him.
It was kind of a secret society because the Nebulons say that they discovered the existence of the Hive. And so the team that we see here are a group of guerrilla rebels that work to take down the Hive. So maybe they're equivocal to
the French Resistance
in the Matrix.
Oh God, Matrix.
And because they discovered the existence of the AI machine.
Yeah, the
world.
Zion sort of, right?
And then
kind of
so the Hive is oh God, damn.
The architect.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's name a character.
The Hive. I was going to say the Hive actually reminds me of the plot of Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the second Planet of the Apes movie. The people that worship the bombs and use their minds. Yeah,
I agree.
At this point, we have a roll call. Gort, Duros, Stylo, Arcana, Pinpointer, Firebolt, Recoil, Haywire, Peacemaker, and Spoilsport. These guys are crack shots and know all of the machine's weak spots. Only
None
if
of
they
them's
had...
named Crackshot, though.
That would have been a perfect name. Let's get rid of Gort and call him
Crackshot.
Crackshot, please.
He's like, why do I have to be called Gort?
And he's the leader.
Gort was my father's name.
It's a family name.
If only he's Gort the Fourth.
Could be Gort the Fort. Gort, you're tough.
Gort Jr.
They know all of the machine's weak points, but only if they had the Autobot's strength, size, and power. Gort Jr. sounds like a good 8-bit arcade game from
It does.
the 80s.
Right.
Hey, wait a minute. Brainstorm, doesn't this sound like a concept that you were talking about earlier? Why, this is the only way we'll defeat the Hive machines, rescue the captured Autobots, defend the plasma chamber key, and let Daniel move around again and stuff.
I do wish Brainstorm was like, no, that was totally different. Something else.
Any
Next.
opportunity for his pet project, really.
We transition to the makeshift lab inside the cave. The team is all aligned to participate in this process, except Cerebros. His pacifist principles keep him from involving himself in this experiment. But everyone else is all in. RC has a special request. She wants to bond with Daniel. So all of them surprisingly easily pop off their heads.
Really?
And
Whoa,
soon
what the fuck?
they will be headmasters.
I didn't know they could do that.
Well, they just download their memories and personalities into the auxiliary unit.
I get that, but I just didn't know they could rip their heads off of their bodies.
You could rip your head off if you really wanted
That one
to.
guy did with that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aston Martin.
See? You learned
Just like modern day social media influencers, they've downloaded all their brains into their bodies.
Yes.
Ooh.
I
Shot
don't
at
know if
Generation
Isn't that
Z.
trite commentary, guys?
You youth.
I, for one, am looking forward to our robot overlords. I'm going to toady immediately.
That's the end of the episode, by the way.
I hate this
Aw.
end where Spike is standing there and they put their heads in a circle
Yeah,
on the
that's
rock
not true.
floor. It
That's
looks so
not true,
fucking
Matt.
dumb.
It's weird.
There's no wires or anything
No.
creeping out the bottoms of their neck.
No, even like any sound effect like
There is an extended next episode thing, but we can skip past that.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say the entire Headmaster gimmick to me, I love the toys. But the whole thing makes me a little uncomfortable. Like the idea that, because where does their like bodily autonomy begin and end? It doesn't seem, in the episodes coming up, it doesn't seem like they have control over, what the pilot's doing with their body at all.
I think that they have to, and that's what I was saying, like they seem real like laissez-faire about giving partial control to another entity inside their body. But I think from what I glean from context clues, if they give up operation, they have to consciously give it over.
It is
Otherwise,
esoteric.
otherwise they are the primary.
it just
If
seems,
this is, oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying it seems like it could lead to some serious literal internal conflict.
That's good.
Yeah, if this was expanded to the 5-part it was supposed to be, there definitely would have included a stop hitting yourself scene.
Well, and as we kind of see in the next episode with the Decepticons and the Hive, they do have a lot of different ideas
Yeah.
with each other.
I've always been more comfortable with the idea that the heads were just smaller versions of the larger robots. Right?
Yeah,
like that's kind of
sure.
like the Titan Master take on it. Like you can sort of pop off and be a littler robot and be a little more ambulatory, normal bipedal sized. I really like that. I love that idea. But the idea that someone's like in your head taking shits, as Caleb said earlier, is a little weird.
Hey, I'm taking credit for that.
I didn't say that one.
Yeah, that was
someone
Aaron.
say?
Aaron
Oh,
Thweet.
Aaron, sorry. As Aaron said earlier, taking shits in their head. But I mean, it does bring up a good point because, I don't know if it's a good point, but Daniel, I mean, he needs the head to live. Like, is he like Bubble Boy now? Does he ever get to leave RC's head?
A Bubble Boy reference.
No.
I think he does, but he has to be in his
His exosuit.
exosuit forever now.
Does that turn into her head, or is that
Not
like
really.
separate?
He jumps in and out of it. Like in and out of her head. They get.
Oh, really?
They're more like loaded into the heads sometimes, But then sometimes they seem to just like the target masters transform into guns, but the headmasters jump in and out of the. It's very like they load it into the heads, but then later they become the heads. It's weird.
So Daniel can he can be inside RC as the head, but then can he have his own transforming robot? That transforms out of RC's head, and then he additionally has an exosuit that then he can additionally just come out of and be like laying down.
I feel like the conceit is that
layers?
this process is permanent, and once you are in that head, you're in the head. Otherwise, there'd be really no reason not to do this, because if the Transformer didn't like it, they could just kick the human out.
Yeah, I think in the books it becomes more of a symbiotic, like you literally start meshing personalities.
That sounds distressing to me.
Because in the books, with Power Master Prime, whenever Prime's body is destroyed, his Power Master character, whose name I'm blanking on, Haikyuu, thank you. He literally says, "I am Optimus Prime."
I remember there was that Nucleon subplot, and also the Power Master process. And how it they share energy, although I don't know why that would have to be any different than headmasters. I mean, you're sharing a brain to an extent.
But Daniel can come out of her. He does come out of her head.
I don't think he does.
Well, he does.
He does.
It's complicated because you see in the next episode them loading into the heads, and then when when her RC transforms into a robot, her head becomes Daniel in an exosuit.
Yeah, and I think that's just laziness. They didn't design a head.
Because the conceit of the toys is the head becomes a robot.
Right.
A lot of philosophical questions here at the end of Rebirth Part 1.
Jesus.
But
not
at the
getting
same
to the
time,
bottom of any of them.
When you flash inside the head,
they're sitting in a chair.
It's a control center.
Yep.
So why not just let them get out if they need to?
Right.
It's all falling apart.
Distressing.
all continuity that was so airtight up until now.
It was locked down.
Come apart.
Yeah. Carly texts. So how's everything going? How's Daniel doing?
Well, nobody's getting ahead of themselves, are they?
He's
yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the toys.
Heads up, Carly.
Good job, guys. Good banter.
Thank you.
The OG Headmasters and Headmaster HorrorCon toys were unveiled in 1987, and they continue to introduce new characters through 1988. To Ryan's point earlier, the gimmicks, clearly the gimmick number 1, head pops off and turns into a little guy, and gimmick number 2, the chest flips open and you can see 3 tech specs, strength, intelligence, maybe speed.
Speed, yeah.
And the other gimmick, I think, is that there's a compartment in all of them for the head to sit in their alternative modes. The line kind of died down for a little while. In 2014, the concept was softly reintroduced with the Generations IDW-styled Brainstorm that came out. They didn't do any other headmasters. And that character wasn't a headmaster in the comics, so it's interesting that they made him a headmaster in the toy. But then, as Michael referred to a little earlier, it was fully relaunched in the 2016 Titans Return line, bringing back all the original headmasters, some of them IDW inspired, plus making basically everyone else in the series headmasters also. Blaster's a headmaster, Galvatron's a headmaster, Power Master Optimus Prime is a headmaster, and
Power Master Optimus Prime is a headmaster?
Yeah.
Weird.
And even other Transformers that were target masters originally are now headmasters. Yeah, they sold lots of spare packs of just spare random heads of other characters. They didn't give them like Brawn had a little headmaster guy, but there was no body to go with it.
It would just be the head?
It was just they would just sell little heads. When they sold the little heads, I think they generally came with a little cheap ass vehicle.
Could you attach the head to anything though?
You could attach it to other headmasters.
Yeah, you could swap it out between the toys.
Yeah.
They actually did kind of a cool thing. It was sort of like, you gain like different powers or like different abilities from swapping heads. They kind of built it into the storyline. And actually, if I can make a little plug here for the Transformers trading card game, which I'm still obsessed with, and got these two tattoos over. They're actually from the Transformers trading card game. I committed it to permanent ink. Yeah. But I love the game. I still play it. It's been defunct for maybe a year or two now. But if anyone's still playing it, hit me up. But the headmaster gimmick in that game is very cool because the headmaster is the head of a larger robot while you're battling it. And then if you knock that character out, the card actually flips over and is another tiny little robot that can get a little more,
cool.
couple more swipes.
Juice in.
Like it.
Yeah.
It's good
Yeah,
concept.
it's really fun.
Very nice. In the Titans Return line, I should say that the robots weren't called headmasters. I'm just referring to them colloquially because that's
Did they have
what they are. But
name?
they were called Titan Masters.
Titan Masters.
Michael, I'm not sure about the lore of that because they didn't really incorporate it much into the IDW comics. Some of the characters like Alpha Trion were also headmasters, and then it was they'd reveal themselves in their true form. But I don't recall. So when you bought the toys, the headmaster character would have its own name, but I don't know if the conceit was it's a Transtector type thing where it's just the personality of the main robot in that smaller form, or if it is truly a partner. I guess I assumed it was partners because they had names.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I think you're right. It was sort of a partnership, but I don't know. There's something on the description of the Perceptor toy in particular that made me think it was kind of a smaller version because they kind of made the allusion to like how the head could perform intricate operations. That the big ass Perceptor could.
Smaller hands.
Yeah, right.
Little sausage fingers.
That's the kind of gynecologist you want.
Right.
Now, whenever they
Perceptor's
did the reveal that they were, whatever, headmasters or whatever, did they accidentally set a forest on fire?
Not this time.
Okay.
I don't understand the reference.
It's a joke about gender reveals.
Oh.
Uh,
that was a tough one, right?
Were they super
normally
big
better than
douchebags and caused a lot of ecological damage?
there
for
we
no
go.
fucking
Now
reason?
it's blossoming. I get it.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna go defending those douchebags.
They are pretty silly.
Go ahead, caller. You're on. And
Did you hear about the gender reveal where the guy they hired a guy to fly a plane
Yep.
and it crashed?
Yep, they killed a man.
Yeah.
How would you feel to be that kid, grow up and find that out?
I think he's gonna have enough problems with those people as his parents.
Yeah.
The Titans Return line, another cute thing they did in that line was some of the characters, particularly, like if you were a headmaster that was originally a headmaster, they pretty much stuck to the naming convention unless for some reason they lost the rights, like Gort is connected to Chrome Dome or whatever. But if you were a new one like Blaster, his Titan Master character's name was Transistor, or is that right? I think it's Transistor. And that's a callback to, in the Japanese series, Blaster dies at some point, and he gets a blue repaint and is renamed Transistor. I think that's right. I might be fucking that name up, but that's the kind of shit I think Optimus Prime was maybe Orion Pax in his little guy form.
Neat.
That was Titan Return, but the gimmick continued in the War for Cybertron Siege and Earthrise lines, with the capstone piece being a Titan-sized War for Cybertron Scorponok. And Hasbro, Takara, on the Masterpiece side, they haven't really gotten into the game of headmasters yet. But there are third-party companies, such as Fans Project, Toy World, Perfect Effect, and the most celebrated X-Transbots Make Toys, Fans Toys, and Fans Hobby that have done it. X-Transbots did the Horror Cons. Fans Toys has done all of the main Decepticon, non-Horror Con headmasters. Make Toys has done two of the Autobot headmasters, and Fans Hobby does all the ones that are more Japanese series related, like Minerva. I think that's a name that exists. Not Double Dealer. Who's the blue guy that everybody likes from IDW Comics? That's a headmaster in Japan.
Oh, Overlord.
No, not Overlord.
And not Double Dealer?
Not Double Dealer.
I can't help.
Neither of those are headmasters. They're power masters. All right, well, you get it. A year ago or so, Fans Toys finished up those Core 3. And the world awaits Make Toys to finish up its Autobots. Oh, and Fans Toys has also done a Cerebros, but it is in the Japanese version. Basically, all the headmasters we see on screen here have different heads in their Japanese versions, and I'd argue better designed heads than what we see in the American. Probably the most different are the Cerebros character, and is this guy, the guy that turns into a car, is that Chrome Dome? What's his name?
Yeah, that sounds right.
We'll go with it.
The guy that turns into a car really narrows it down for this show.
I know.
Thanks.
So let's talk. We're transitioning to new characters, and all I have to say is Christ. We have series regulars. Yeah, Christ joined the cast for some reason. Chris Latta did some time in the studio casting session as Skull Cruncher, but I do not believe he spoke on screen. Dan Gilvezan showed his evil side as Snapdragon. Michael Bell was Brainstorm and Gort, and you know Michael Bell as the voice of that red car that Mike Seibert likes. Pause for laughter.
Is he the voice of Sideswipe?
Yeah, isn't he?
He's
Old
Prowl.
Swiper. Yeah, he does.
I think he does Sideswipe too.
Does he?
Yeah. People do more than one voice.
I understand. It just I never picked it up, and I'm usually a real bellhead.
You definitely are that.
See? Oh shit! It's the Zing Zone.
Neil Ross, abandoned Springer, but voiced Point Blank, Crosshairs, and Six Shot. Dick Gautier was Ape Face, and of course Hot Rod. Jack Angel, normally Ultra Magnus and Astro Train and Omega Supreme, among others, was the Nebulon Arcana. Stan Jones, who we know as Scourge, was Weird Wolf, Pounce, and will ultimately be Zarek. John Moshita was given the role of a lifetime as Punch Counter Punch. Chuck Adler was the charming rogue Dirk Manus and Silverbolt, but in this episode he is Duros and Trigger Happy. Frank Welker got into the action with Chrome Dome, and even Colin was Wingspan. So it's like he just dipped in, did a line, dipped out. Some, I guess he had Optimus Prime in this episode. So some later era folks, Johnny Hamer, who did Swindle, does Highbrow. Robert Paulson, his name is
Robert Paulson.
Fastlane, and in the past he did Air Raid and Slingshot. Milt Jammin, who was Blastoff, does Styler. And Stephen Keener, previously covered as Hunger, did Hardhead, Mind Wipe. We'll leave it at that for now. We met him saw him do panels at our original TF Con, where we met you in person, Mr. Andrews.
Yeah.
But he has since passed away.
And Aaron broke my drink.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not done. That was embarrassing. That was an embarrassing moment. Steve Boulin, Strafe in Season 3, does Sure Shot, Peacemaker, and Searchlight. And Danny Mann, Lightspeed in Season 3, was Spoil Sport and Fast Lane. And one more name, Jared Barclay, who I should have mentioned in Return of Optimus Prime, because he does the voice of Sinner Twin and Gregory Swafford. He is the voice of Cerebros. For the record, he passed away in 2022. His most prolific credits were 13 episodes of the Pole Position series, 13 episodes of the Dukes, and 13 episodes of the Trollkins. I guess if it's only 13 episodes, does that just mean they get a one-season
I think that's
shot?
all the episodes, yeah.
He was an additional voice on Power of the GoBots, as well as lots of single episodes of live-action television dating back to the 50s on shows such as Rawhide, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Bonanza, and movies such as The Howling Six, The Freaks. Have you seen that one?
I'm sure I have.
He played the role of Dead Trick in a Car in the 1991 drama Whore.
Oh, my God.
If you can't say it, see it, was their tagline.
What?
That doesn't. I don't really.
I'm intrigued.
Okay.
That is it for that.
In the real world.
The Rebirth Part 1 aired November 9th, 1987. In the American Top 40, since we are deep into 1987 at this point, we have a true Billboard Hot 100 hit this episode. For 2 weeks in November, it's Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now.
Nice.
Great song.
Good
I think I'm a clone now. I'm sure you were going to get to that.
Actually, I didn't mention it at all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For anyone who doesn't know, Tiffany, whose name is Tiffany Darwish, already had a recording contract when she appeared on Star Search with Ed McMahon, where she placed second. Her first single from her titular debut album failed to chart, so her manager, George Tobin, sent Tiffany on a nationwide tour of shopping malls. Mm-hmm. And her second single, a cover of Tommy James and the Shondells hit, I Think We're Alone Now, became number one and remains her biggest hit. She was 16 years old.
Wow. Put him to work.
As you might expect, later, in 1988, she wanted to leave Tobin and become emancipated from her parents, which was a huge court clusterfuck that did not go in her favor. It's a tale as old as time. But she still works and seems to be doing well, and I love that song.
Tiffany also voiced Judy Jetson in the Jetsons movie.
Yes, she did, and she was on an episode of Big Bang Theory. I hear.
Ooh, nice save.
I never watched The Big Bang Theory, and the idea of watching it always grated on me strongly. But for some reason, on my YouTube, is it Reels that's like their version of TikTok, shows about young Sheldon have infiltrated my algorithm. And you know what? I kind of want to watch the show.
Ugh.
It seems pretty charming, actually.
It's working.
They got me.
Fucking simp.
They're about to get me. Yeah.
Number one at the box office. We also have a true number one here. In its last week at the top of an impressive 2-month run is 1987's sexual psychological thriller, Fatal Attraction. Have you guys seen this movie?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I actually have not seen it.
It's a classic.
I saw it far too young. While being babysat, I'll bleep this out, but while being babysat by... He was like, "You want to see something inappropriate?"
Sounds like.
Oh, please just put the movie on.
He did.
I was playing with that idea myself. I think what you did was good.
Well, I have it in my notes here. I said yes, sir. And he was also my private art teacher. Yeah. And it just sounds like when I put those two things together and say it out loud, it sounds like I was being groomed.
He taught you to draw dicks.
It was all. He was like, "Don't you like these funny little mushrooms?"
Got you, dick. Call back.
Fatal Attraction was directed...
molestation, cornerstone of APDC humor.
Don't put it there. Fatal Attraction was directed by Adrian Lynn, who also directed Flashdance, 9.5 Weeks, Jacob's Ladder, Indecent Proposal, Lolita, and Unfaithful, so you might say he has a theme. It stars Michael Douglas as Dan Gallagher, a successful lawyer married to Beth, played by Ann Archer. While Beth and their daughter are out of town for the weekend, Daniel has an affair with Alex, played by Glenn Close. Though they both seem on the same page about it just being a fling, soon Alex begins an increasingly aggressive and dangerous campaign of stalking Dan. This is the movie where the reference of someone obsessed with you boiling your rabbit comes from.
Everybody's making that reference all the time.
I've heard it. I've heard it on the streets. We were in different circles.
Yeah.
Fatal Attraction was the second highest grossing film of 1987, behind 3 Men and a Baby, and it received mostly positive reviews and has a 75% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which says, "It's a sultry, juicy thriller that's hard to look away from once it gets going." There were some completely reasonable criticisms stating that Alex's character is made wholly negative, while Dan's carelessness and the lack of compassion and responsibility raised no discussion, except for men basically saying that Dan was eventually forced to live up to his irresponsibility, everyone pays the piper kind of thing. It was unfavorably compared to Clint Eastwood's Play Misty for Me, which has a similar plot. And the film was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, Best Director, Best Picture, Actress, Supporting Actress, Screenplay, and Film Editing, but did not win in any of the categories.
Aww.
As 8 weeks at number one might imply, it crushed hard at the box office, earning $320 million on a $14 million budget.
Amazing.
Damn.
Fun facts from this week in history. On the 3rd of November, Gordon Gould is finally issued a patent for his invention of the laser, ending a 30-year battle to be credited as its creator.
Way to go.
Yep. I didn't even know that happened.
The inventor of the laser rope featured heavily in this episode of Transformers.
Yeah.
They were in there. On the 5th of November, the U.S. Supreme Court nominee Douglas H. Ginsburg admits to using marijuana and later withdraws from consideration.
God. Shame.
I'd probably not, because he would have been a Republican.
Oh, good.
On the 13th of November...
I'm sure they got a Republican to take his place.
No.
I don't know who it was.
What year was this?
This was 87.
Is this Clarence Thomas years?
No, that was Clinton.
No, Clinton did not appoint Clarence Thomas.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Yes, positive.
100%.
He would not have
Why
appointed.
why am I equating those?
I don't know.
That would have been like a George. That would have been like a
George
Bush appointee.
What do you know? That fuck.
Bar.
On the 13th of November, the first condom commercial airs on British television. And that's the real world.
They call it a condom.
Would you like to get a rubber? Oh, a bit of the old in-out. Sorry. That's what they say when they come.
Yeah, George H.W. Bush appointed Clarence Thomas in 1991.
Oh.
Maybe I'm just
Maybe
conflating it
Reagan
because of the
appointee.
trial with Anita Hill. Maybe that happened in the 90s or something.
It would have happened before Clinton, apparently.
Anyway,
He made Long Dong Silver references.
Yeah,
to
I
her.
put a pube on her coke.
Gross. He's a
disgusting
He's
human
like
being.
just generally the worst.
Yeah, he's horrible.
What else we got here? We did a script.
Script deviations.
Okay.
Script.
Get ready to be disappointed. I could not find the script for these episodes. After it airs,
All right, next.
After it airs, if someone knows how I can get either the original scripts for these three or even better, the original 5-parter, let me know, which I'm just going to guess is gone forever. All three of these episodes were written by David Wise. I believe he had to introduce 24 new characters in this episode alone, which is about one every 45 seconds. There are a staggering 72 characters who appear in this episode, and we've talked about Wise a great deal. He was the head writer for the 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series, writing or co-writing over 70 of those episodes. And he was the single most prolific writer for the Transformers cartoon, with 15 episodes to his name. Attack of the Autobots, Day of the Machines, Microbots, Make Tracks, The Secret of Omega Supreme, Crimzeek, Autobot, The Girl Who Loved Power Glide, The Key to Vector Sigma Part 1, The Key to Vector Sigma Part 2, War Dawn, Trans-Europe Express, The Rebirth Part 1, The Rebirth Part 2, The Rebirth Part 3.
Good job.
Sadly, David Wise died of lung cancer at the age of 65 on March 3rd, 2020.
Oh.
I thought he died a lot earlier than that.
Nope.
Are you sure it wasn't 2002?
Nope.
It was 2020.
Okay.
But I think I wrote that right.
You're correct.
Yeah, I am because on Hasbro Pulse on this episode, actually, if you pull down, they say R.I.P. to David Wise about a year ago.
He made quite a few con appearances prior to.
Yeah, that's
He was
really
also
sad.
on-
I just recently watched the Ninja Turtles documentary that he was heavily referenced in and interviewed for. So
Yeah, he
he's
also
quite
did
a personality.
some interviews on podcasts as well, which did not exist in 2002.
Okay, fine. You win.
This episode was featured on season 5. If you remember, those were just old episodes that had these weird live-action interstitials between Tommy, this boy, and Power Master Optimus Prime puppet.
Yeah.
In this one, Tommy meets with Power Master Optimus Prime with the greatest idea ever. Tommy says he wants to be turned into a headmaster, and Optimus tries to tell him that becoming headmaster isn't so easy, but Tommy doesn't understand. Prime figures that if he knew the origin of the headmasters, Tommy might get it. And then Tommy starts pouting, claiming that Daniel is one lucky kid for getting mauled half to death and thus becoming a headmaster. Prime informs him that being a headmaster isn't the answer to all life's problems. He tries to tell him about the Decepticon headmasters and how much trouble they're going to make for the Autobot headmasters, but Tommy just brushes his warnings off like a real cock and insists on going through with the headmaster process. His parents probably had a gender reveal for him. Prime laments, "You're not going to let me talk you out of this, are you?" But delays Tommy's gratification. Apparently, Landmine is going into the shop for some minor retooling, and Prime promised he would be there, so he flies away, promising to be back soon to transform Tommy's day into an adventure.
It sounds all weird, demented, fucking crazy shit.
Tommy, evil Daniel sounds like.
I don't trust Power Master Optimus Prime.
No, I don't either.
That's script deviations.
How do you guys rate this so far? I feel like it's trying to sell us something.
No way.
I'd say from a marketing standpoint, it's the scheme is pretty good. The scheme, though, here is not the Autobots or the Decepticast people, but Hasbro themselves.
We had the toys.
Good
Aaron and I
scheme,
both had toys
Hasbro.
from this.
A marketing
Good
scheme.
Yes.
I was still holding on to that Transformer love.
Yeah, me too. I mean, honestly, I probably didn't get... I mean, I don't think I got into the Transformers till maybe... Well, I was going to say after the movie, but... Because I just don't know why I didn't know that the movie was coming out in theaters. I don't remember.
Yeah, did you guys own any memorable Headmaster figures?
I had Highbrow.
I think I had Weird Wolf. And maybe one of the off-brand, like, smaller ones that came out the next year.
I had and still have Squeeze Play.
Yeah.
So this is probably my very first Transformer I ever got.
Oh, I had
definitely my oldest memory of it.
I had several Target Masters, but we won't get to them yet.
Hold off. Hold your horses.
I would say for the scheme, Galvatron does manage to steal the key to the plasma core, but doesn't really seem to know what it is or how to use it. It just seems like he wants to own it for possession's sake.
And it does more on that later.
It does immediately get taken back away. So I give it an 8 for effort and a 4 for execution.
All right. Well, yep. The Hive certainly have done a good job of maintaining control over this planet.
They're slaves.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the Mikel Andrews coined.
All right. So, okay, we can. I'm the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know.
Did you coin it? Or just came up with it conceptually?
I came up with the premise. I think you guys gave it the... Well, you definitely the ghost. It was all you.
Yeah.
That's a funny story because I was super irritated with Caleb while during that whole process.
And look how it turned out.
I'm talking to you now.
Michael, what's your iconic moment?
You know, actually, I kind of alluded to it earlier, but the metal munching plants are iconic to me. Like the Hive devices that come out of the woods. I think when I think of this episode, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I don't know why, but that's always stuck with me. That imagery of those, those weird crane
scary
things.
Yeah. And the sounds that they used for those are pretty effective too. I think.
Yeah,
I don't remember specifically, but sure.
No.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
I guess seeing Optimus Prime again as just a normal character, part of the cast of it. I mean, I guess he is sort of the focus, but not really. Is kind of.
I put Snapdragon shaking Daniel like a terrier with a ragdoll. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, fuck Daniel, right?
Fuck that little
I mean,
boy.
in a way, probably what the iconic moment is, all the heads coming off at the end. We kind of all hated that, but I mean, really, that's sort of. I bet that really is like an iconic shot.
Sure.
It is the shot that is on the very first one on the TF Wiki of this episode. Is that shot at the end?
For any of those,
shot, if you will.
Whoa,
nice.
For any of those Zelda players out there, I just wanted one more head to complete the circle of heads, so that a Korok would appear. Right? You guys
I don't get that reference.
Nope. All right, that's fine.
Which game is that?
The last two.
Oh,
you have to find Koroks.
The last one I played was 3 for the Super Nintendo.
You're just an originalist.
Yeah. I don't really.
What are you guys talking about?
Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda games.
Oh, okay.
Next time on the Autopod Decepticast.
Determinedly, the Decepticons devise dastardly deeds and develop devoted dependents of their own.
Yes, we continue to fucking flog this sad, dying horse as we limp to the finish line of the G1 series.
Mikel Andrews, what would you like to plug?
Probably. Usually I just plug my books, which are still available out there. But this time around, just a reminder to listen to me and Mike Seibert rap about Transformers Animated on Two Mikes, Too Furious.
I vouch for it.
5 stars, please.
I do as well.
5 stars, please. if you can rate us somewhere, that'd be great.
It's an adorable combination.
Yeah,
we are a good combo. I think.
I don't know. You're younger than Mike Seibert, but you feel like the father figure to me in this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot with my birthday impending.
You 40-year-old fuck.
Irrelevant.
Does anybody remember whenever, maybe they still do this, but like I remember as a kid turning 40, everybody got those joke like, you're over the hill and here's a coffin lit for your birthday.
Decorate everything in black.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I fucking hate that.
It's weird.
What did you want for your birthday? A tombstone? Waka, waka, waka.
Pizza stuff. Okay.
Give my fellow Decepticons! Give till it hurts!
If you'd like to support the show, we invite you to check out our Patreon. See the levels of support. See things like the booty box. See it all at patreon.com/apoddcast. You could also check out our store, autopoddecepticast.com/store.
Many fine products.
Just buy some merchandise. And you can buy us a drink, Ryan. What is that?
You want to buy us a drink, you can send us $5 hairs at APODcast on PayPal. Put in the notes what you would like me to make, and I will make that drink on a show.
Aside from all that, you can support us through reviews, stars, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all that old shit.
Wherever podcasts are found.
You can also hang out with us virtually on social media such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All of them at APODcast. Finally, if you join the Patreon, you can hop on the old Discord.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the most active place for us.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's the Discord's turned into our primary place of interaction.
Fewer memes than we used to post. We need more memes.
On the Discord?
Sure. Meme
right.
everywhere.
I've kind of stepped back. I see. I'm
taking a
out of the
tolerance
meme
break.
game, guys.
Kind of disrupting.
He had a
things.
meme that he thought was the meme of the century. But
Yeah.
one of those Drake memes.
I never get
Nobody
tired of when
remembers
Caleb
memes.
is super excited about something and then nothing.
It falls
He's like
so flat.
He gets so excited. I'm like, really need to modulate expectations
Yeah,
here.
I sure do. It's fine. I'm learning.
If it's history centric, probably not going to be.
Yeah, it's pretty. I need to put that on my. I need to I'm part of a Tudor England Facebook group, and I need to put that kind of shit on there instead of just to the general population.
They'd love it, except then they don't listen to Drake, so they're like, "Who is this?" All right, goodbye, everybody. Great episode.
Thanks for being on, Michael. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. This is really fun, guys. I really appreciate it.
You got it. The only Drake that they would like is Sir Francis Drake, actually.
I thought you were going to say a duck. I don't know why.
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes.